Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
For Nico Goodrum, a lifelong Twins farmhand, performing well against his former team has to feel good. 318 this year, 6 extra base hits. Nico homered again last night against the Twins. Hopefully more of the same here tonight at Comerica Park. Great night for baseball. Game 2 in this 3-game series featuring the Tigers and the visiting Minnesota Twins. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen, glad you're with us here tonight for Game 2 in the series. Nice win last night for the Tigers, Rod. Couple of homers, including Nico Goodrum, and he continues to have a really solid rookie year.
Oh, he really is doing a nice job. He struggled on the road trip, but a lot of the offensive players really struggled on the West Coast. But it was good to see Nico with his at-bats in last night's game. And it wasn't so much the home run, but that ball that Jake Cave ran down in center field, that kind of got Nico going, and I expect him to do it again tonight.
All right, how about Jose Iglesias?
Wow.
Another home run in the ball game last night, and he plays his best baseball here at home.
Well, we know what he does on the defensive end, but we're going to focus on his offense because his offense is way better here at Comerica Park than it is away from this ballpark. For whatever reason, he gives you a quality at-bat every time he steps in the batter's box here at the crib. 24 extra base hits. He's driven in 26, and he's also stolen 7 bases. He's been right in the middle of every big rally, every big hit the Tigers have had here at home for the most part, and it's good to see Iglesias do that because he really got off to a slow start this year, but he's picked it up in his free agent year. Don't know what's going to happen after this season, but he's definitely be playing somewhere next year.
All right, Tigers and Twins coming your way shortly after a short break. We go to the Coliseum Studios, check in with Mickey York. Coming up in this one here tonight. Well, the Twins have really gotten good production on a Logan Forsythe. He came over in the Brian Dozier deal, hitting over 400 as a Twin. Tigers Twins coming up next.
On Fiesta Tigres night on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. And by Jeep, the official vehicles of summer. Festive atmosphere down here at the ballpark tonight as we welcome you back inside the Coliseum studio. Hi, everybody. I'm Mickey York. The Tigers going for their fourth straight win in the season series over the Twins with a victory tonight. They'll turn to Francisco Liriano to help them get it done. Francisco looking for his first win since April 28th, but we think he's going to be just fine because, after all, it is a pitcher's weekend here at Comerica Park. Jack Morris's number 47 will be officially retired by the ball club tomorrow. It's etched in the outfield grass. Tomorrow it takes its place on the outfield wall among the Tigers' retired numbers. The celebration continues next on Fox Sports Detroit. Enjoy the ball game, everybody.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Here this evening, Tigers and the Minnesota Twins going at it. Game 2 of the series. The Tigers have Francisco Liriano on the mound tonight. He is presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And Francisco pitched okay his last time out. He pitched 5 innings against Oakland last Sunday. Took the loss in that game. Only gave up 2 runs. Francisco's got the fastball, curveball, slider, and the changeup, and will use all of them at any point in time.
Here is the starting lineup for Minnesota tonight, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Joe Mauer, Eddie Rosario, Logan Forsythe, your top 3. Sano is in the lineup tonight playing third, and then Austin and Polanco, Field, Adrianza, and Wilson rounded out for Paul Molitor and the Minnesota Twins. Scattered clouds in the area, but nice nonetheless. The Tigers going for 2 straight after winning last night. And Liriano goes to work facing Joe Mauer, who is hitless in last night's opener. He was 0 for 5. And there's a strike called. We are underway tonight.
Joe Mauer in 4 plate appearances last night took the first pitch on every single plate appearance and does the exact same thing here against Liriano.
Now the 0-1 pitch. Mauer is not very often hitless against the Tigers, and especially 0 for 5 in over 200 career games against Detroit. He has gone 0 for 5 only 10 times. Last night was the 10th. And he'll spray this one toward left field, slicing away from Reyes. He is on the move, can't get there, but it's foul. Look out, Jose goes into the seats in between the railing and the screen. Or Victor, rather. Victor Reyes. And he's okay. Nice job, Victor.
Great hustle. Tremendous effort. And that ball slicing off the bat of Joe Mauer, and once his momentum had him going that fast, he couldn't stop himself. Landed in someone's popcorn.
Yep, sure did. And that
nice fan there holding him up.
1-2 the count. Joe Mauer. Swing and a miss. Foul tip that actually got a piece, and Mauer barely stays alive.
Francisco has been able to dominate left-handed batters this year. They're hitting only 125 against him. Therefore, Paul Molitor, the manager of the Minnesota Twins, very few lefties in there today against Francisco.
Well, Mauer just barely kicking here as he fouls 2 out of the glove. Here is the Bernstein advantage. Joe Mauer has not had good success, or literally any success, against Liriano. 1 for 7 with 3 strikeouts.
He's been struggling too. His last 10 games, Mauer hitting only 146. So he has not been swinging the bat very well lately.
Rolled toward the second baseman. Out to the grass is Goodrum, and Mauer is out, 1 away.
And while we have a second here, I'll set the Tigers defensive alignment for you behind Francisco Liriano. In left field, they've got Victor Reyes getting the start out there this evening. Jacoby Jones in center. Nicholas Castellanos, he's in his spot over in right field. Candelario Iglesias, Nico Goodrum, Aduce in the infield, and James McCann, the battery mate of Francisco Liriano this evening.
Another left-handed batter now as Eddie Rosario stands in at 296 this year. Way out in front, 0-1.
As much as Mauer likes to take, Rosario likes to swing. Good player. 20 homers, 66 driven in. He's probably their best all-around player.
Chopper again to the second baseman. Charging this time is Goodrum, and there are 2 gone. Couple of ground ball outs early in this one for Liriano.
Soft contact off the bat of Mauer and also Rosario.
What do we got behind the dish tonight? We got Bruce Dreckman. Angel Hernandez, your crew chief, is down at third. There's Angel. And you got Fairchild and Estabrook, also part of this 4-man crew.
And Francisco Liriano spent 7 years pitching for the Minnesota Twins. Made an all-star team with Minnesota. Also comeback pitcher of the year 1 time with Minnesota. He's won that award twice.
Here's the 0-1. Forsythe looks at a ball low and away. He's been hot for them since coming over in the Dozier deal. He's better than 400. 414. Shot to left field. He continues to be a hot hitter. A 2-out single for Logan Forsythe. Well, he has been the Chevy most dependable player. When you look at what he's done with the Twins, these are the numbers with the Dodgers. 207 batting average. And much better with Minnesota, so the change of scenery has been pretty good for Logan Forsythe. Here's Miguel Sano, the new and improved Miguel Sano, who earlier this year was sent down to A-ball.
I've been watching him take batting practice the last couple of days. I have not seen a right-handed hitter coming to Comerica Park reach the distances that this young man has been reaching the last 2 days. It's incredible how far he hits the ball. It really is.
He has always had the prodigious power. He's got 8 homers this year. He's been a lot better since being called back up from the minor leagues. Only .218 overall. Grounded foul, 1-1 on Sano.
He really has done better against breaking balls. He was struggling earlier in the season against breaking pitches, but finally in the last 10 games where his average has really perked up, he has started to recognize breaking pitches a little bit better. And that's what his manager Paul Molitor said.
Sano in his last 10 games batting at a .333 clip, and Rod, every time, or ever since rather, he has come to the big leagues, he's always felt that this guy should live up to the press clippings he had as a minor leaguer.
Yeah, no question. I mean, he's big and strong and physical. He's got some nice hand-eye coordination. He just hasn't put it together yet. But some guys, it takes a little longer before they really realize their full potential. Outstanding pitch there. I think it was a changeup. And a beautiful pitch that faded down and away. Yeah, there's a changeup. Look at the fading action on it. That's a nice pitch.
Now Liriano's 2-2. Just got a piece.
Already quite a few foul balls off the bats of the Minnesota Twins this evening.
Tyler Austin waiting on deck.
Hall of Fame manager Paul Molitor. Boy, can he hit. He could play, steal bases. He could do it all.
That'll miss inside. Now 3-2. Liriano was only 22 years old when he made the All-Star team with the Twins back in 2006. He was a 12-game winner that year. Then he was injured, and that really kind of stalled his Twins career. Runner goes on 3-2, and it's ball 4. Sano will get a walk, and now the Twins have 2 on with 2 outs. By the way, stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll be selecting the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's. Kyle Gibson getting ready to make his start tonight for the Minnesota Twins.
He's made a lot of starts in his career against the Tigers. He's been in a Minnesota uniform since 2013. Tigers know him well, and he knows the Tigers well.
And he's hoping right now to get an early lead in this game as Austin stands in and looks at ball 1. Tyler Austin coming over in the Lance Lynn deal with the Yankees. He's got 8 home runs this year, .223 batting average.
He's done his best work in his major league career against left-handed pitching, and that's why he's going to get the start today and tomorrow.
2-0.
And fastball friendly count here for Austin, but very seldom does Francisco throw you a fastball in a count like this. He'll throw you that changeup. He'll throw you that slider. He'll see if you want to swing at that.
Now 3-0 on Austin.
It's a nice take there by Austin. He did get the off-speed pitch and didn't swing at it.
Forsythe with a 2-out single. Sano with a 2-out walk.
And don't know if Austin will be swinging here 3-0, but it really doesn't matter. You've got to throw him a strike.
And he's going to walk him. That is 6 straight balls thrown by Liriano, and all of a sudden the bases are loaded. A single and 2 walks, and here is Polanco. Walks have been an issue for Liriano, not only this year with the Tigers, but really throughout his career. It's been part of the package. The Tigers know that.
Francisco came in, Mario, with 73 walks in 90 innings.
Yeah, that's a walks per 9 of about 5.
Yeah, that's too many. That's too many. Francisco will tell you that.
They're loaded up now. And there's ball 1 to Jorge Polanco. He has now missed on 7 straight.
Yeah, no mound visit as of yet by McCann to go out and have a chat with Liriano.
Two and 0. Now we'll get McCann going out, and here comes Rick Anderson as well.
Had a nice conversation with Rick Anderson today during batting practice, and he was talking about Liriano. Of course, Rick Anderson spent 13 years in Minnesota, so he had Francisco for 7 years there. So he knows him as well as any pitching coach in the country. And he said, if you would just watch Francisco throw his bullpens, he says, Mario, everything's about 85% effort level. The ball comes out of his hand about as well as it comes out when he's doing well. But when he gets in the game, for whatever reason, he just speeds up. And he's been in the big leagues a long, long time. And that's been his issue with the base on balls. He just does not slow it down.
13 years in the major leagues. Here's the current weather at the ballpark. It is 80 degrees.
Nice crowd today, too.
Well, it's 2-0. Is there anything but a fastball coming here to Polanco?
Well, that's what Polanco's sitting on, and he should be sitting on a fastball. And in his last 8 games in this ballpark, he's hitting about 400 too. So Polanco plays well in this yard, and he's also doing a very nice job with the bases loaded.
In the dirt now, 3-0, and all of a sudden, Liriano can't come close. And he has thrown more balls than strikes now in his 25 pitches after getting 2 quick groundouts. He has missed on 9 straight. In there, a strike called. And a sarcastic cheer comes cascading down from the crowd. 3-1 on Polanco.
You don't think that was genuine?
I think there was some sarcasm involved there. Just a guess. In the air toward right field. It's going to get him out of the jam. Well, it took him a while, but they will strand 3. And the Twins are turned back here in the first. Ceremony here tomorrow. Tonight the game is being played, no scores. We go to the bottom of the first. Here's the Tigers starting lineup, presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Jones, Iglesias, Castellanos top 3, Candelario batting cleanup, and Vmart and Goodrum. Aducey, McCann, Reyes your bottom 3. And Kyle Gibson goes to work here against Jacoby, who last night was 1 for 3 with his 5th triple of the year. Gibson, big, tall right-hander, brings home the first in there for a strike. 0-1. Rod made mention of the fact the Tigers have seen Gibson a bunch over the years. This is his 17th start in his career against the Tigers, more than any other team. And he pours in another strike. 0-2.
He's changed a little bit about the way that he goes about his business these days. He used to be a ground ball machine, but now he's getting more swings and misses. He's bought into some analytics. And the people that handle the analytics on the Minnesota side, they told him that his 4-seam fastball was a much better pitch than his 2-seamer. So he started to throw more 4-seamers. He's getting more swings and misses with that pitch in his breaking ball, and he's not getting as many ground balls as he has in the past.
He has Jones down 0-2. Just got a piece. Well, Gibson tonight is presented by MGM Grand Detroit.
He's got good numbers as far as the earned run average is concerned, but he hasn't been racking up a lot of wins. You can see they're not scoring runs for him. A 3.60 ERA should be better than 5 wins and 9 losses. You saw the 135 strikeouts as well, an indication that he is getting more swings and misses these days.
6 feet 6 inches tall out of Greenfield, Indiana, his hometown. Swing and a miss. He got Jacoby chasing. 1 away.
Here's the defensive alignment behind Gibson tonight. You've got Adrianza in left field, Field in center, Rosario, he moves over to right. Polanco and Forsythe are up the middle in the infield, Sano and Mauer on the corners, and Wilson is the catcher tonight, catching Gibson.
Jose Iglesias got a nice surprise when he got to the ballpark today. The official scorer gave him another hit. That ball he hit to left field was changed. It was originally ruled an error by Rosario, and that has been changed to a single.
So that means Mickey York gets another point, doesn't he?
Oh, why'd you bring that up?
Added to his total from last night.
Yep. He is officially 2 for 4 last night, now 1 for 4.
Well, while that official scorekeeper was looking at that play, he should have looked at a couple of more plays last night.
Yeah, we had a few that we disagreed with.
He should have changed 3.
1-1 on Iglesias. Swing and a miss.
Iggy does his best work right here at Comerica Park. We pointed out in our open today, he bats .297. He's driven in 26 runs. He's scored 24. He's been right in the middle of every big rally the Tigers have had here at Comerica Park, where they're 3 games over 500.
You know, you mentioned the Tigers at 3 over 500 here. You wonder if they just could win a few more on the road. The Tigers this year away from Comerica are 18-41.
Ooh.
And that has been their downfall this year. Even up that road record a little bit more, and it's a different story, but not the case. Oh, look out. Down to the ground goes Iglesias.
That is a 94-mile-per-hour fastball inside that probably would have hit Jose had he not made contact with it. That's just a wicked pitch. Look at the movement on it at 94.
I think you're right. I think it does hit him.
Yeah. That slow breaking ball again. Yeah. You can already see what his pitch pattern is through the first couple of batters of the game. He'll show you the fastball, but he threw Jacoby about 3 or 4 of those really slow breaking balls, and he's trying to do the exact same thing to Iglesias. He really hasn't thrown Jose a strike yet.
Chop to third base, Sano on the backhand. Iglesias is out 2 away. By the way, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow, and you know what you'll get? Free small order of curly fries. Here's Nick. He can hit one out. He's got 16 homers this year. Castellanos was 0 for 4 last night.
This has not been a good matchup for Nicholas over the years. Nick is 7 for 35 against Gibson. I was talking to him around the batting cage today, and I was asking him what his approach was going to be against Gibson, because I knew the numbers. I didn't give him the numbers. I'm sure he knows he struggled against Gibson. He says, I'm just going to try to get a good pitch, and I'm just going to swing hard and hope I hit it somewhere hard. He says, I'm never going to overthink anything.
Isn't that the best approach that you could possibly take as a hitter? Just get a good pitch and try and hit it hard somewhere.
No doubt.
I mean, it's obviously easier said than done.
No question about that. I mean, that's the way the game's been played forever, and that's the one thing that hitting instructors will say to their players all the time. But as you said, it's easier said than done, especially when you get in that batter's box and you're having that confrontation with that pitcher 60 feet, 6 inches away from you. It's basically you and him.
Nicholas at 283 now this year, 59 RBIs. Here's the 2-1. 3-1 on Castellanos. Candelario waiting on deck.
Fiesta Tigres night.
In there, a strike on the outer edge. Full count, 3-2. He hit hard to the shortstop, played off to his left by Polanco. And he is safe at first, an infield hit.
Outstanding hustle by Nicholas Castellanos. And he did hit that ball hard. He scorched that ball to Polanco. As a matter of fact, Polanco thought he had more time because the ball was hit so hard. He backed up on it, he gathered himself. He looked at Rob Manfred's signature, then he threw it across the diamond, and it was too late. Nicholas Castellanos was really hustling down that line. See, that's the one thing right there, Mario, that I appreciate about big league players. Yes, you're taught to run all the time hard down the line. But 90% of the big leaguers, if they hit a ball that hard to the shortstop, they're not going to run full speed down the line. They're just not. They're going to look like they're running full speed, but they're not running full speed. Nick was running full speed.
The next time I see Castellanos not running hard down the line will be the first time. I mean, this guy comes to play every night, and it also speaks to the fact that here he is struggling for base hits, hit a ball right on the button, right at the shortstop, yet he's still busting it down the line. Now a chance for Candelario, and he'll look at a ball inside.
Yeah, using that fastball a lot more these days, as we pointed out, is Gibson. He'll get up to 95 with that four-seamer. He'll throw it up at the top of the strike zone, and then he'll throw that breaking ball. He's doing the same thing that a lot of pitchers are doing in baseball. Fastballs up, and then throwing breaking balls to disrupt the timing of the hitters that have those launch angle swings.
Slowly back up the middle, and Candelario is going to be thrown out to end the inning. Everything happens for a reason. When we come back, Jack Morris tells us why he wouldn't have chosen any other path to Cooperstown.
absolutely crazy to think about the journey and how the path has been perfectly placed for me. I can't even imagine. I think about this all the time. You know, in college I was scouted by the St. Louis Cardinals. I thought I was going to be drafted by the Cardinals. Where would this all happened if I would have gone to St. Louis? I have no clue, you know. Everything happens for a reason, I believe. Even the time that it took to get here, I think, has given me a better appreciation for the whole process.
That is tonight's big money encounter, brought to you by Menards. And Jack Morris talking about how, you know, life brings you certain paths. Sometimes they're good, sometimes not so good, but everything does certainly happen for a reason.
I remember when I was in high school, and it's along the same lines as what Jack just said. The Cincinnati Reds scout, Larry Barton was his name. He came to my house. He gave me eye test. They were at all of my games. I could see him all the time, no matter where I played. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I thought for sure I was going to be a Cincinnati Red.
Yeah.
And then I got drafted by the Chicago White Sox on draft day.
Johnny Fields strikes out, one gone here in the second.
And little did I know, the same guy had been watching me the whole time, but he never let anybody on to know that he was watching me.
So they literally gave you an eye test in your home?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Oh, they came to your house. They did that back in those days.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gave you eye tests and stuff. They came over to visit your parents, and they wanted to see how you lived and, you know, meet your parents and different things like that. And they use an eye test as an excuse to get into your house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I believe it.
They just wanted to be nosy.
Adrianza swings and misses.
Expect a lot of breaking balls today from Francisco Liriano to this Minnesota Twins team. They are really good fastball hitters. They're really good fastball hitters. Therefore, you have to mix in quite a few off-speed pitches.
Well, Liriano retired the first two batters on groundouts, and then before it was over, he threw 27 pitches in the first inning. He walked two, gave up a single, but no damage. Adrianza with a big night last night, 3 hits, swings and misses, 1 and 2 on A-Ray.
He likes Tigers pitching, doesn't he?
He does. 364 versus the Tigers. He is 10 for 23 against them this year alone. And strike 3 called on Adrianza. So back-to-back strikeouts, a much better start to the second for Liriano.
And mostly breaking balls thrown to Adrianza, and he couldn't pull the trigger on the last one, which was a breaking ball off the outside corner. At least it started off the corner. You could see the slider grip, and that ball caught the corner. Nice job of receiving that ball by McCann.
Now Bobby Wilson. Isn't it funny how precarious baseball can be? I mean, here's Liriano, who could not literally throw a strike in the first inning.
Right.
9 straight that missed the strike zone. He falls behind 3-0, gets out of that, and now he appears to be back on track. It's just a funny game. It's a mental game.
That's why the pitching coaches are so vital. They can look out there and they can make a correction with you while they're watching you struggle throwing pitches. Those are the good ones that can really help guys make those adjustments in game.
2-1 on the former Tiger Bobby Wilson. A 169 hitter this year. Now the 2-1. 3-1 on Wilson. Walked him. 2 out, base on balls. Well, the Tigers host the White Sox this Monday through Wednesday, the 13th through the 15th. Enjoy great savings with the weekday value pack for tickets, hot dogs, chips, and drinks for as little as $20 per person. For Tiger tickets, go to tigers.com/value as we welcome in the Chicago White Sox for 3. Tigers back to within their division after going out west. And they got a nice stretch of games at home now in the month of August. Mauer's showing bunts. Tigers in a stretch of 12 of 16 at home.
And Joe Mauer, for the most part, has a left swing that he hits the ball to left field as frequently as anybody in our sport. But when he does hit the ball on the ground, it's right toward Niko Goodrum. And that's why they play him the way that they play him. And Nico in shallow right field. Candelario, he's up the middle.
Up top now, 2-1 on Mauer.
And time for StatCast AI, powered by AWS. I mean, you could see the frequency of the ground balls that he hits right toward Candelario and also right toward Niko Goodrum. When he hits the ball the other way, it's a base hit anyway. That's where Joe Mauer has made his money, driving the ball the other way.
On the ground to second base, right on cue and right as scripted. 4-3 ground out, his second of the game, and they'll strand a man. Earlier today, Jack Morris amongst his fans signing autographs here. Of course, Jack being honored this weekend. His number will be retired tomorrow. I can't imagine how exhausting the last several months have been for Jack Morris.
Well, he's been everywhere, and good for him. And he and both Alan Trammell deserve all the accolades that they've been getting the last 6 months.
Well, here come the Tigers now as we go to the second. It'll be Victor Martinez, Niko Goodrum, and Jim Adduci.
Number 47 will never, ever be worn again by a Tigers player.
It'll chop her back to the mound, and Victor is out on one pitch.
As a matter of fact, no Tiger has worn 47 since Jack left.
Jack talks about the story of Jim Schmeichel, the clubhouse manager for the Tigers, not giving anybody 47 unless they won 20 games in a year.
Didn't have any of those guys.
Nope. So 47 has not been worn, nor will it be.
And Verlander won 20, but he didn't want that number. He had his own number.
Niko Goodrum now with one out. On one on Goodrum. Almost hit him.
Good pitch by Gibson. And Goodrum's had his way against his former team. He's been killing them. 6 extra base hits in the 5 games he's played against him this year.
Nico looks at the ball low, 2-1.
Nico looks locked in. And by the way he took that changeup right there, he just looks like he's seeing the baseball really good. He had 2 really good swings last night. Really had 3 good swings last night. And we'll see what he does here on the 2-1 count.
Chopper right side to the grass, Forsythe, and Goodrum is out. 2 away. As you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the whole true moment later in tonight's game. Here is Jim Ducey. The Deuce last night was 0 for 3. He has hit safely in 4 of his last 5.
Told you that Kyle Gibson really hasn't been throwing that many ground balls this year, but he's already thrown 4 of them.
That ball hit well to center field. Field is on the run, still going, dives, can't get it. Up against the wall. Adrianza going to dig it up. Ducey going for 3, and he's in there with a 2-out triple.
Everybody else had been hitting the ball on the ground, but not a Ducey. A Ducey gets one airborne. It's a great effort by Field. We saw Cave, their center fielder, make a tremendous play, but Field not able to make that play. And by the time Adrianza gets over to pick it up, Ducey, he's rounded second, headed to third for his first triple of the year.
Nearly a tremendous play by the center fielder, but Ducey hammered that ball to the gap.
It's the 3rd career triple for Ducey. First this season.
Infield playing to pull now as McCann steps in with a 2-out scoring chance. Ball 1 high.
A huge hole on the right side of the infield for McCann. Should he try to hit something through that hole? He has the ability to control the bat. I mean, there's nobody there. I mean, you see where Maurer is, you see where Forsythe is. Forsythe is on the other side of the diamond.
Mack last night was 0 for 2. He did draw a walk. Rolled foul, now 1-2.
Here's that power sinker that Kyle Gibson still has when he wants to throw it in. It's 94 miles an hour, and it's not straight. We saw one to Iglesias, and that was a similar pitch right there to James McCann. It looks good coming out of his hand. It looks like it's a 4-seam fastball, but it's got some 2-seam late life on it, and it runs in on your hands. You don't get a good swing at it.
Soft ground ball to the right side. He found a hole and a base hit. James McCann hit him where they ain't, as the old baseball saying goes, and a 2-out RBI single.
That is an absolute thing of beauty. I mean, when they open up the right side of the infield as much as they opened it up, if you fall behind, I mean, simply you're playing a game of pepper. You just want to put the ball in play, and you can see he was flat-footed. He used his arms, and he was just trying to put something in play, and he was rewarded with a base hit and an RBI. Was not a bad pitch by Gibson there. I mean, that's a nice piece of hitting by James.
So the shift burned the Twins that time, and now here is Victor Reyes with 2 outs. RBI 31 for McCann.
Makes you wonder why a pitcher would throw that pitch, even though it was a really good pitch to McCann, and they've got the entire right side of the infield opened up. But the theory behind that is that so many pitching coaches and all the analytics out there will tell Gibson, even if you throw that pitch where you just throw it, 9 times out of 10, James McCann's still going to hit that ball to the left side of the infield. But he didn't that time.
1 ball, 1 strike on Reyes. Victor batting .220 on the year. In your estimation, how many starting pitchers or pitchers period in baseball really buy into all the shifting? I mean, do you think there are some that would rather have straight up defense?
I think the majority would rather have straight up defenses. I really do. I mean, there are some situations where you have your extremes of guys you just know are going to pull the baseball. I mean, like a Victor Martinez, like David Ortiz used to be, like Chris Davis of the Baltimore Orioles. But when you start shifting on everybody, I mean, even guys that don't have a lot of data in the big leagues are shifting on. But, you know, that's just the nature of the game these days. But I'm sure some pitchers would love to see guys playing in a more conventional spot, especially in a double play situation.
Yeah, that's where I'm thinking. Really, most guys, I wonder, when you're in a double play situation, you've got guys pulling, and it's really hard to turn two. Here's the 3-1 to Reyes. Pounded foul. Full count on Victor now. Reyes still in search of that first major league home run. He has knocked in 7 this year. Runner going, and a bouncing ball foul, and picked there by Santiago.
It's Fiesta Tigres weekend here at Comerica Park, and Ramon Santiago was honored as the special guest yesterday with a luncheon here at Comerica Park. Every year they bring back one of the Latin players. Pudge Rodriguez has been here. Maglio's been here. Carlos Guillen also has been here, being honored on Fiesta Tigres night.
I just love Santiago's attitude that he brings to the game day in and day out. It was the same as a player, nothing but smiles, and a great clubhouse guy.
He's going to be a really good coach. I mean, he's still learning. This is his first year coaching at any level, and he's in the big league, so it's a huge learning experience. But he's around a good group of guys that really help him learn.
Swing and a miss. Reyes strikes out to end the inning, but the Tigers get a run to take the lead. It is National Baseball Card Day, and when we come back, Johnny Kane shows off his impressive collection.
Game break. You know, they have a day for everything. Today is National Baseball Card Day, and yours truly has more than 40,000 baseball cards at his disposal. The only problem is I'm in the middle of a move right now, and 2 days ago, Mario and Rod, I actually had to move all of those cards by myself into a storage unit.
Yeah.
So they are all safely boxed up. But people sometimes ask me, you know, I collected for a lot of years, and I'm sure my mom was thrilled with every time I spread them all out on the living room floor. But anyhow, people ask me what my favorite card is of my collection. I do have some great cards for sure, but I'm going to have to say it was a 1957 Topps Mickey Mantle card, which I actually got when I was working in Topeka, Kansas at the time.
Hey, Johnny, can you give me the address to that storage place?
I was just going to say, I was setting myself up. Yeah. I'll tell you what, it's not even temperature controlled. So I mean,
no.
we're we're rolling the dice here, so
Yeah.
hopefully I can get moved into the new place shortly.
Well, I don't have 40,000, that's for sure, but I do know the ones that I do have, and I've got a pretty extensive collection. They're just so unorganized. It's just like a glob of cards. What about you,
Yeah.
Rod? Do you
I
have
wish
one?
I could tell you guys that I have a lot of cards, and I have had some cards over the year, but I used to put them in my bicycle wheels.
Oh no!
I'm serious.
You
I
were
used to-
one of those.
a clothespin, and I didn't care whose card it was. I
mercy.
really did not go give them a nickel for some bubble gum.
Yep.
And they gave me
Roderick.
about 5 cards back in the day. Johnny, you wouldn't know nothing
Come
about
on,
this.
no.
You were too young. You don't know, Johnny.
Well, no, I know.
Bubble gum wasn't a nickel.
I knew
It wasn't a
about
nickel when you were small, but they gave you a piece of stale bubble gum. Mario, you remember?
Well, here's
and
the
they gave
thing.
you about 5 cards, and I would take those cards and I would put them in my wheels so it would make a cool sound. So I wish I'd have held on to some of them now.
Who is Joe Patini?
Joe Patini, he was a coach. He played a little bit. Hatcher,
Hey.
Brian Hunter there.
I used to have, I still have some unopened packs from like the late 80s, mid to late 80s. I had this old 88 Fleer set.
Yeah.
And I started to open a couple of the packs just for nostalgia. And I pulled the bubble gum out and I put it into a Ziploc bag. And my dad came over, reaches into the bag, popped in the gum, like disintegrated on
Oh.
impact. He said, "This gum isn't any good." I said, "Yeah, because it's from 88, Pop."
Rod talks about putting cards in the spokes of your bike. I remember putting a Pete Rose card in the spokes of my bike, and my
yeah,
friend was
man.
saying, "What are you doing?" And I said, who cares?"
I wasn't really thinking about cards
No.
when I was a kid. I mean, it was more about being cool and your bike sounding like you had a muffler or something.
Yeah. Leadoff walk here to Rosario. Forsythe, the batter.
Forsythe has been hot, but if Liriano makes a really good pitch here at the bottom of the strike zone, he can get a ground ball and get a double play and help him get out of this third frame. But you got to make a good pitch. His changeup has been a good pitch to the right-handers today.
Now the 0-1 from Liriano.
Good
And
pitch.
it's in there, a strike call. 0-2 on Forsythe, who singled in the first, continues his hot hitting. Time of the year where guys are changing locations. That's the story for Forsythe, who's played with a couple of teams in his career, but he comes over from the Dodgers in the Brian Dozier deal. Fouled away.
And Brian Dozier played huge dividends for his new team. The day he showed up, he homered in his first game. He also made a great defensive play. Brian Dozier is a good player, though, anyway.
Dozier averaged about 24 home runs a year for the Twins over his 7-year Twins career, and of course he had hit 40, over 40. Little chopper up the middle. Iglesias can't get it into center field. On his way to third, Rosario, and he dives in. He is safe.
Ooh, what a throw by Jacoby Jones, though. My goodness.
A one-hopper. I didn't think that'd be close.
What a throw by Jacoby. And he kept it low enough so that Forsythe, who hit the ball on first base, he couldn't go to second base. That's the key. Watch the throw here and the footwork by Jacoby. He's got those shortstop feet. He gets rid of the ball in a hurry. He hurls it all the way to Candelario. He puts the tag on him, but Candy did not keep the tag on him. Man, oh man. The only thing about that play right there is Candelario should not be standing where he's standing. He should be back there by the base. And if he's back there by the base, Mario, then he's able to apply the tag to Rosario and get an easy out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Instead, he took the ball off the bag. That throw was right on the money.
So he wasted some motion with that sweep tag because he was off the base.
Absolutely. He doesn't have to reach to tag him if he stays home.
Now Sano looks at a ball low.
Here's one more look at it. You see where the bag is when Candelario gets the ball in his glove. Here's the throw. Now see where Candy is? He should be back on the bag. I mean, that throw is right on the money. That throw is right to the bag. So if he's on the bag and takes the throw straddling the bag, they get an out there at third base. Jacoby gets another assist. Why he was there, I don't know.
Sano looks at a ball outside, 2-0. Another threat now for the Twins. A walk to Rosario, single by Forsythe.
Yeah, Liriano did get that ground ball that he was looking for, but right up the middle, right off the outstretched glove of Iglesias.
Try to hold up. It's going to get away. And throw to the plate. Dropped by Liriano. A run will score as Rosario comes streaking in from third. And he got a good read on that ball and scored ahead of the throw. Wild pitch is the ruling. Tied at 1. Also advancing was Forsythe. He'll go to second. Still nobody out. Liriano came charging in to home plate. He's taken an extra beat now behind the pitching mound.
Yeah, Rosario slid into him very aggressively.
Sano had a walk in his first at bat. Now 3-1.
Ball hit off through the legs of McCann, off the right leg of Dreckman as well, the home plate umpire.
High pop up down the right field line. Castellanos coming over. Has room. Runner will tag. He's going to third, and he's in there safely. Forsythe moves up. 1 gone. Sanoa's out.
And see how Ron Gardenhire plays his defense here with a runner on third, less than 2 outs. Looks like he's going to play him in.
Here is Tyler Austin, who walked in the first inning. Strike 1 on the outer edge, and Austin didn't like it. So here is the situation that has bothered Liriano this year, and that is an elevated pitch count. He's at it again. He's about to throw his 60th. And we're only in the third. Swing and a miss, 0-2. That 27 pitch first inning remains his highest. But he was able to wiggle out of the jam by getting Polanco to fly out with the bases loaded. Swing and a miss. Austin down on 3 pitches, 2 gone.
A couple of really nice changeups here to Austin to get him to swing right over the top of it. He's got that really nice fading action tonight with that changeup. He's thrown it primarily to all the righties. Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch on Francisco, 94. He has touched that a couple of times here this evening and has gone as low as 77 with that changeup. That changeup will go anywhere from 77 to 82.
Now Polanco, the shortstop, infield back with 2 outs, and Polanco looks at ball 1.
Francisco should pitch very carefully here to Polanco. He's hitting 285, and he's hit really well in this ballpark, and he's hit Tigers pitching really good all year. And the guy in the on deck circle, Field, he hasn't. He's only batting 211.
Popped up. Goodrum back to the grass. Now Castellanos coming in, and Nick makes the catch. They'll minimize the damage. A run in to tie it up. We go to the bottom of the 3rd.
Back with you for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. What a night last night in the Bronx for Rangers rookie Ronald Guzman. Went yard 3 times as he became the first rookie to ever hit 3 homers versus the Yankees in a single game. To make it more special, his father flew in from the Dominican Republic to watch him play in the majors for the first time, along with 30 other family members. Mario and Rod, that'll be a night that young man won't soon forget.
No doubt, Mick. His father is afraid to fly, and his father would never go watch him play in the minor leagues wherever he was, but they talked the father into flying to New York because it's close to the Dominican Republic, and he watched his son hit 3 homers. So I'm glad his father was there.
I'll bet he's glad he was there too.
Right.
Put that fear of flying aside to see his son, and he put on a show. Jones leads things off here in the Tiger third, tied at 1 now, and Jacoby looks at a ball high, 1-2.
Gibson's thrown a lot of strikes. He's thrown 42 pitches. 28 of those have hit the strike zone. He's only missed with 14. His fastball's gone anywhere from 90 to 94. He punched Jacoby out his first time up with that same breaking ball that he just threw him right there. And he's going to throw Jacoby another breaking ball. He's going to try to get it off the plate a little bit further this time, and to see if he can get Jacoby to swing at it again.
Mike Gerber had made 6 straight starts for the Tigers. In the outfield, Reyes back out there along with Jones today. Here's a chopper to third base to no, short hop scoop, and his throw is in time. 1 away.
Sano weighs about 270 pounds, but he's got some agility down that third base. You would think that the guy that was that big would not be able to play that position as well as he does, but he has no problems down there.
Well, the Twins wanted him to shed some pounds when they sent him down to A-ball this year. He did just that, and now he's back in the major leagues. He is still a big guy, though, and you're right. It's kind of amazing that he's able to play that position.
He's always going to be a big guy. I mean, if you look at him, he doesn't look fat. I mean, he's just big. I mean, some guys have those kinds of bodies.
2-0 to Iglesias. He bounced out to Sano back in the first inning.
Yeah, big homer for Iglesias last night. 2-run variety against their starter, Irvin Santana.
3-0.
Did you hear where Santana sounded off on management last night?
A little bit. I read just a little bit of it.
He said management quit on him. He says we haven't quit, but management has quit on us by trading all their players away. Says it's tough to compete on a nightly basis when you don't have the good players to compete with. He might not be here next year.
That may be the case. I will say this, though. I mean, you've got to make some tough decisions sometimes. And there's a walk to Iglesias. Think about the tough decision the Royals had to make last year.
Right.
They were close. Now, they probably weren't going to make the playoffs, but they gave it a go anyway, and now they're paying for it.
Yes, they are. Think about Minnesota, though. Last year at the trade deadline, they were sellers. They sold off a couple of pieces at the trade deadline last year. Their closer and a starting pitcher. And yet they were able to get into the postseason.
Well, here is Castellanos now with 1 on, 1 out. That is the first walk given up by Gibson in this game. Nick singled in the first inning. Oh, 2 on Castellanos.
That 2-seam fastball that Gibson has here tonight at 94, 95 with movement is giving the right-handed batters fits. Here's another one of 95 miles an hour. That ball running in on Castellanos.
I mentioned the Twins made the postseason last year, and one of the big reasons why was Gibson. He was 7-3 with a 3.76 in the second half last year.
Yeah. Went to arbitration this year because he felt like he deserved more money than Minnesota was offering him, and he lost his arbitration case after having those lofty numbers in the second half last year. And it told you that Gibson throws lots of ground balls for double plays. He threw 26 of them last year. He's only thrown 13 so far this year. And he's trying to get Castellanos to hit that ball on the ground.
Swing and a miss, and Nick is chasing for the second out, third strikeout of the game for Gibson. Stay tuned following Tigers Line postgame for a special behind-the-scenes look at Alan Trammell and Jack Morris' journeys to the Hall of Fame. Their unforgettable weekend spent in Cooperstown. It'll debut immediately following Tigers Line postgame tonight right here on Fox Sports Detroit. This is a fabulous show that you want to stick around for. And he will take the journey as well with Tram and Jack to Cooperstown. Here is Jeimer Candelario with 2 outs.
One thing that the Minnesota is not doing for Gibson this year, what they did very well for him last year, they're not scoring many runs for him. And just over 4 per game when he takes the mound. They scored over 7 per game for Gibson last year.
Yeah, and that's one of the big reasons why he won 12 games despite a 5 ERA.
And now he has a really good earned run average, and he's only won 5 games this year, and he's lost 9. And his ERA is in the mid-3s.
2-0 on Jeimer.
Running to 1, Jeimer.
Popped up left side of the infield. It's going to be the pitcher Gibson to make the play, and that'll end the inning. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire.
Walked a few here today, but when he has allowed them to put the ball in play, the contact has been soft. He's gotten some swings and misses on that really good slider. He's also thrown some good changeups as well to the right-handed batters. There's that change piece, and he's gotten several ground balls when throwing strikes. Take your time.
And Liriano makes a nice play, and Johnny Field is out. One gone here in the 4th.
the key to the play is taking your time. You see so many times Mario pitchers go over there and they grab that ball, and for whatever reason they just panic. They look at the runner running down the line and they don't handle it cleanly. Francisco did it to perfection right there.
Here is A-Ray Adrianza, and he steps in. We check in now with Craig Monroe, who's in a special spot apparently. Simo, where you at?
Well, I'm out here in left center field, guys, and listen, there's been some good players, but when you make the wall, you're a great player. And we're gonna add another name. We're gonna add another number, which will be Jack Morris. I'm excited that Jack Morris gets to put his name on this wall because, again, we know about the '84 World Series championship. He was a special kind of talent and beloved here in Detroit.
Some great names out there, man.
Yes, it is. K-Line. You've got Newhouser. I mean, you name it. I mean, Ty Cobb. I mean, Greenberg. I mean, the great Willie Horton. I mean, this is a special wall. So I'm sure this is a special day for Jack Morris as well.
Adrianza flares a single down to right field. That'll bring up Bobby Wilson. Well, later, as Simo mentioned, Trammell will join that, but to get your number out on a wall, I mean, I can't imagine, Simo, what it's got to be like. I mean, you played the game a long time, but, you know, these guys get into the Hall of Fame, having your number retired. I know the Hall of Fame is really cool, but having your number retired, knowing nobody's ever going to wear that in a Tigers uniform?
Well, that has to be special. There's no doubt. Again, you talk about some of the good players to play the game, but what makes you a great player is the consistency. And there's no doubt Alan Trammell and also Jack Morris, some of the most consistent players that the game has ever seen. And that's why they've got their due. They're in Cooperstown, and now they're going to retire their jerseys.
Candelario bobbles that ground ball, but stayed with it. And what looked like could be a double play. The left is settled for one, two gone.
That is a very nice job by Candelario, because I did not think he was going to get an out at first base. With Wilson running, though, the catcher, he knew it. He stayed with it. He got the ball. He corralled it, and he made a nice throw across the diamond to get the catcher. But initially, this ball trickled away from Candelario about 7-8 feet. I thought no way they were going to get at least one out, but he got an out.
Well, it certainly helped that Wilson was running. Here is Mauer now. Joe Mauer is 0 for 2 with a couple of ground balls.
Be careful here. He might just swing at that first pitch.
Ball one.
See, have you ever seen anybody take 96% of the time on first pitches?
No, not really. Most hitters in the batter's box are a lot more aggressive than Joe Mauer, but you know what? He's very comfortable, Rod, too, hitting with 2 strikes. I enjoyed picking his brain when I played with him in 2008. He focused on letting the baseball get deep, and he rarely expands the strike zone.
I mean, most folks need all 3 strikes. I mean, Joe, he gives you one.
Yeah.
And some of us need 4 and 5 strikes.
Yeah, I mean, when you start thinking about the consistency from Joe, over a 300 hitter, again, I talk about that 5.5 hole, man. You take that, you know, you think about Tony Gwynn, another guy that was able to do that. I just feel like those guys from a hitting standpoint are just different than the average Major League Baseball player.
Simo, why do you think we're defending him the way that we're defending him when he gets so many hits the opposite way? Is because most of his hits are in the air the opposite way, or does he hit the ball on the ground the opposite way?
Well, no, their line drives, they're very, I mean, like I said, he talked about barreling the baseball up. That's what's important to him. And Joe hasn't bought into the launch angle. We actually talked about that yesterday. He's more about down and through the baseball, trying to create backspin. But I think right there's another great example of why he's been one of the most consistent hitters in the game.
But my point to you is, why do we play him that way when we know he's trying to hit the ball that way? Because he hits it in the air to left field?
I think it's in the air. But one of the things that I know Joe struggled with is they wanted him to hit for more power. And if you notice, there was a couple of years where his batting average went down.
Yeah.
And so I know that was because he was trying to launch the baseball. He was trying to hit for more power. But I'm glad that he's back to doing what he's been doing since he's made it, since he's got to the big leagues, and that's be a very consistent hitter, driving the ball the other way.
I like the way these outfielders are playing. See, they're doing something that you always talk about. They're cutting off runs with their legs. How about that throw by Jacoby Jones?
Well, we always talk about Jacoby from a defensive side. He's special. He's one of the most athletic guys on this team, if not the most athletic, and his ability from the defensive side is truly special. And hopefully right offensively he gets going, because, I mean, again, he's going to be a complete player.
Twins, meanwhile, threatening again. They have men at first and third now with 2 outs for Eddie Rosario.
Trying to get your steps in today. You out there in center field? Kicking
Yeah, I'm
it,
getting some steps in, hanging out with my fans. They've been great out here. I walk down, all of a sudden I hear a bunch of CMOs, and they're going crazy. That makes you feel good, baby boy. That makes you feel good when you come out here. They appreciate some of the things I was able to accomplish here in a Tigers uniform.
1 ball, 1 strike. In your days patrolling left field, do you have any memories of what people would tell you?
Well, not a whole lot. I just remember running down the left field line and always greeting them and getting these standing ovations when I did something big, hit a big-time home run late in ball games. That was the name I guess I kind of earned, was clutching in 2006. I don't remember the number, but the fans would definitely let me know that I was coming up clutch for this Tigers team.
Pretty cool.
It is. It's special. Something I'll never forget, Mario. I enjoy it. I feel like I'm at home being out here in left field.
It's the view that Zemo is enjoying right now. Meanwhile, Liriano trying to pitch out of another jam. Seems like he's been in quite a few tonight. The 2-1 pitch. Ground ball back up the middle. Iglesias, and he'll throw him out to retire the side. After the break, Jack Morris shares the secrets behind his dominant split finger fastball.
See how far I'm spreading my fingers. I'm literally putting the ball between my pointing finger and my middle finger, and I'm trying to put all the pressure on the insides of both fingers, and that's the only part I feel. Thumbs on the side just to have a place to hold the ball and rest it, but I want to get my thumb out of the way. And when I release the baseball, I'm pulling very, very hard with these 2 fingers, and the friction makes the ball come out of my hand with curveball rotation instead of your typical fastball rotation. You're throwing it just exactly like a fastball, but it comes out of your hand and tumbles like a curveball. So what the hitter sees is fastball delivery, and yet in reality it's changeup curveball or off-speed curveball that the ball's actually rotating like, and that's what made it so effective.
And that is our 1-800-CALL-SAM call to the game, and it's amazing how someone can control a pitch like that with the way Jack did.
Yeah, Roger Craig taught Jack that pitch. Jack was one of the guys that threw from a high 3/4 arm slot, and that made him have real good rotation with that splitter when he did throw it, because he threw from that same slot.
Vivart grounds out, 1 gone here in the 4th.
He was taught that pitch by the pitching coach Roger Craig. It really changed the course of Jack's career.
Here is Nico Goodrum. Guys, we don't see that as much anymore, do we, that pitch?
No, I think a lot of the pitching coaches have kind of frowned on it. I believe they said they put way too much pressure on your elbow. So a lot of guys have gotten away from throwing that split-fingered pitch.
Simo, what was the one pitch that bothered you the most when you played?
Slider.
Well, for me, it would be that slider down away from me. I mean, it come out the hand looking like a fastball. You go to approach it, and the bottom falls out, running away from you. Tough pitch. Also, the changeup, too, is a very good pitch. I believe the speed differential for me was tough. You know, it's 9 to 12 mile per hour speed differential, especially when you have a great changeup. But then, right, you got to think about the split finger. You can't pick that baseball up either. It looks like a fastball out of their hand because they have great arm action with that particular pitch as well.
Yeah. Time for the DTE Energy Know Your Own Power. And I know you liked this swing last night by Niko Goodrum. He got an 80-mile-per-hour breaking pitch, went down to get it, and he dropped it off on the Bell Tire sign out there in right field.
Right, I loved his first at bat too. I think, again, you know, for you young hitters, when you're hitting with good rhythm, good timing, and you're able to drive the ball hard, I mean, hit it hard to center field as deep as Goodrum was able to hit the ball last night, I felt like that set him up to be able to drive that ball out of the ballpark and kept his hands back extremely well on the off-speed pitch.
That's the second time today Niko has squared the bunt and taken a strike.
Yeah. Now it's 2-2. He did that in his first at bat as well.
Yeah, you can't give Gibson no strikes. He's dealing out there today.
Playing to pull on the infield.
Going back inside on Niko.
Waiting on deck is Ducey. He's got a triple in his back pocket already today.
And guys, Gibson is having a lot of success this season. He's got an ERA about 3.6 so, but the biggest difference has been his attack mode. He's staying on the attack. He's no longer nibbling. He's putting the hitter on the defense, and he's pitching ahead in the count, and that's one of the things that he's doing today that is allowing him to have some success early in this contest.
Throwing a lot more four-seam fastballs too, Simo, than he used to. He used to be a ground ball artist. He's gotten quite a few ground balls today because that sinker ball today at 94, 95 has got some tremendous movement. But he is using that four-seamer a lot more.
Well, he's also using that 6'6" frame. I mean, he's creating a better angle, downward plane. And he's also using that slider. He's not necessarily abandoning the curveball. He does throw it occasionally, but his out pitch has been that slider, and it's a tough pitch to lay off of.
Ball 4.
It's a good at-bat by Niko Goodrum.
1 on, 1 out. That'll be the second walk now for the right-hander Gibson. Hey, we're going back to college with Nissan. We're going back with Kyle Gibson, who played his college ball in Missouri and was 28-10 career with the Missouri Tigers.
It's Maxwell Scherzer's alma mater too, right?
Sure is. Here is Jim Ducey. Ducey tripled to left center field in his last at bat. Looking at some numbers, and Gibson came into this game allowing just 39 extra base hits this year.
Saw that.
The fewest among American League starters.
He's having a good year. It just does not show up in the wins and losses.
Well, guys, you also have to look at Gibson's numbers with runners in scoring position. I mean, the guys are hitting under 200. He's been dealing this year. There's no doubt about that.
It's going to be tough for Niko Goodrum to steal a base too. He's about 1-1 to home plate. So, and with Wilson behind the plate, if Niko decides to steal, it's going to be a close play down there. Might be better off not trying to force the issue.
Now the 0-2. Pulled foul. Jim Ducey's dad played in the major leagues. Jim Sr., his dad played in the 80s with several different clubs: Milwaukee, St. Louis, Philadelphia.
Simo, Johnny Kane has a very nice a baseball card collection. Did you collect baseball cards as a kid?
I did. You know, obviously everybody knows that I love Ken Griffey Jr., so I have a bunch of Ken Griffey Jr.'s, Cal Ripken Jr.'s.
No play there on an infield hit for a Ducey. Nice play by Polanco to get to that ball. Better play to hold on to it.
Ducey somewhat beats the shift as well. You can see where Adrianza's playing. He hits that ball about 10 feet to his right. Polanco, is the shortstop. He's able to get over there and corral it, but not able to make a play. He does show some nice range, though.
Ducey now 2 for 2, and here is McCann.
Last time McCann was up, Simo, the second baseman Forsythe was playing on the left side of the infield. This time they're not going to let him hit that ball right through the hole to have another easy RBI.
Well, I was talking to James McCann today after he got done taking batting practice, and he's continued to work. He understands he's scuffled a little bit, but he's working on trying to stay back on that backside a little longer and use the whole field. I'm hoping today he can continue what he did in that first at bat, and that's see the baseball deep and drive it the other way, take this RBI, and try to get the Tigers the lead here.
Are you standing up out there, or are you sitting down?
No, I'm sitting down right now, Rod. That sun's beating right down on me too, so I'm sweating a little bit. But I'm a team player. Anything for the team, though. That's how it's got to be.
The 0-1 pitch is a wave and a miss.
So is this the tough part of the day out there in left field that the left fielder and the fans have a difficult time of seeing?
Oh yes, there's no doubt. Like even right now for me, if the ball's hit, I can't necessarily see James McCann. I have to put my arms up a little bit to kind of block the sun so I can see the ball even being delivered to home plate. So imagine the left fielder. It's definitely tough to pick up the baseball.
Runners go, and here's a throw to third. Tag is not in time. And Sano says check it. And I'm sure they will.
It's Derek Shelton. He's the bench coach. We'll see. Nico did not have a great jump here. I think he's safe.
Yeah, they're going to look at it.
I think that right hand is on the base before he does apply the tag to the chest or wherever he applies it.
So we'll get a challenge here by the Twins. Tigers very aggressively running 2 base runners and a double steal right now for Goodrum and Ducey.
That's a nice job by Ducey. He knows Nico Goodrum's very athletic. He knows Nico tries to run and might try to steal a base. And Ducey was ready.
I think you're right. I think he's safe. I think he got that right arm in there.
Yeah, it looks like clearly to me their hand is on the base when the tag is applied. There's a tag. The hand is there. He doesn't tag the hand. He misses it. He whiffs. And he doesn't tag him until right now.
He's out.
He out, Simo?
On that replay there, Rod, it looks like he might have got him before that right hand got in there.
I don't know if they've got a clear enough look to make that call. We'll see. Yeah, he might be. Who knows? Oh, they called him out.
They got him.
Simo.
Go back to your seats.
Wow. I didn't think they'd call him out.
And Jim Ducey does not get credited with a steal when the guy that's running to third gets thrown out.
So Ducey at second now with 2 away. It's a big call in this game.
See, I thought he whiffed at him right here.
I agree.
But apparently not.
Guys, but I like the aggressiveness there by the Tigers offense and Ron Garnhauer pressing the issue. I mean, they've had a difficult time scoring runs. I mean, so I think it's important. Press the issue.
It'll pop up to second, and that'll end the threat. McCann is out, so with the Tigers, we've played 4, still tied at 1.
Steal third base. Take a look at where Nico is here. I also want you to focus on the second baseman where he's playing. Nico does get a pretty good secondary lead, which helps you in stealing it back. You can see he's moving, and then when the ball gets thrown home, he takes off and he gets thrown out. But could he have gotten a little bigger lead because Forsythe, the second baseman, was probably giving him a little bit more room than Nico took advantage of. And we also told you that Gibson gets the ball to home plate rather quickly. So you have to factor in all those things.
Big play. The Tigers, instead of having second and third to one out, ended up getting nothing out of that inning. Logan Forsythe leads off the inning for Minnesota as we go to the fifth.
I'm sure Ron Gardenhire, after the game, when asked about that, he will tell everybody that he encourages that. He likes to see his guys play that kind of aggressive brand of baseball.
Ground ball to third, right at Candelario. And they finally retired Forsythe, one gone. If you can't catch games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app. Take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. It's made available by Oakland University. Here is Miguel Sano now with one out.
Watch out there, see.
Yeah, he can hit him out here, right?
Oh, my goodness.
Sano shoots one up the middle instead, a base hit. On base for the second time, a one-out single. There's been a bunch of traffic on the bases tonight against Liriano, but he's allowed just the one run so far. Now Tyler Austin. Walk and a strikeout. Austin called up from AAA yesterday, came to the Twins in the Lance Lynn deal. Way outside.
Is Austin the one that charged the mound earlier this year when they were playing Boston?
That was him. He was stirring it up.
Yeah, he did, man. That was a nice little brouhaha.
He had added another layer to the Red Sox Yankees.
Yeah.
Here's the 1-0 to Austin. Well, we know Rod Allen has charged a pitcher in his lifetime. Simo, how about you?
No, I've never done that. I just think it's funny though, Rod. I'm sorry, but to watch that video of you chasing that young man was funny,
That's
man.
Crazy,
that was
isn't
funny.
It?
Oh my gosh.
I did not think I'd have to run him down into warning track.
You were not going to let him make it. You're going to get to him some way, somehow.
Jeez. And I remember my interpreter dragging me off the field. Come on, man, get off you done made a fool out of yourself. Get off the field.
Oh, classic.
I'll bet though in your time in the big leagues you felt like charging every now and then, didn't you, Simo?
Yeah, when you feel like it's on purpose.
Yeah.
One of the things that irritated me was that if a pitcher,
Oh, that ball's hit a ton. Way back.
I see.
It's close.
Look out, Simo. That's out of here. It's going to be a home run for Tyler Austin. Two-run shot.
His first game with his new team.
Well, he had 8 home runs with the Yankees.
And he also had an OPS of nearly 1,000 against left-handed pitching. So Tyler was doing his best work against lefties. I think it was an off-speed pitch. It sure was. It was an off-speed pitch at 83. It was a slider that he didn't get to where he wanted it, and a nice swing there by Austin.
Polanco looks at a strike. Single by Sano, homer by Austin. And a ground ball left side, sprawling play, Candelario. Nicely done. 2 away. He's had a lot of action down there tonight.
That's the exact same play that Candelario yesterday was working on with Joe Vavra, the quality control coach. We showed some video yesterday of all the Tigers infielders and outfielders working on certain plays. And that particular play right there is the exact same play that they were working on. Candelario going to his left.
And Rod, Candelario continues to get better too with his footwork over there at third base.
There's
go,
another play.
Look at
Rolling Candy gets up and throws him out. It's almost like he heard you talking. Yeah. Couple of nice plays. However, the Twins take the lead in the 2-run homer by Tyler Austin. But Candy showing out tonight at third base. As we go to the bottom of the 5th, it'll be Victor Reyes leading it off. Then the top of the order, Jacoby Jones. Reyes looked like he wanted to drop a bunt down, but took it back. 0-1. Sano is right on the edge of the grass at third. Now the 0-1 pitch. Right back up the middle and into center, base hit. Leadoff single for Reyes. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Bell Tire. For tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And it's Chevy Truck Month. Bring on the new and hand down the old. Chevrolet, find new roads. Here's Jacoby now. Tigers trying to come right back here in the 5th inning. Jacoby showing bunt. There's a strike.
That is the 4th time tonight that we've seen a Tiger square to bunt and not bunt and take a strike. Nico's done it twice. Reyes did it, and now Jacoby's done it. I mean, if you're going to bunt on the guy that's, you know, down at third base, go ahead and bunt it. I mean, and you would think that they may try to exploit that weakness of Sano down there only because he's so big. It's a good time for a hit and run or something to put the runner in motion, because if you don't, you know that Gibson's going to throw that ground ball and he's going to throw a double play.
And as far as the bunt's concerned too, is that, I mean, don't you think that's a smart thought, so to speak, when you're down 3 runs and bottom of the 5th, you're having a tough time getting to Gibson?
Yeah, but I don't like the fact that they take them for strikes though. I mean, if you're looking to bunt and you get a strike, I mean, do you have any, how come they're not bunting them? You have any idea?
No, maybe it's just a show bunt, maybe to get him to move in. And so now a ground ball, you know, not barreled up as hard as, you know, you would like to hit it, might get past him. Maybe that's the thought process, of just trying to get him to move in and give themselves some more room down that line.
Now it's 0-2 on Jones.
And Gibson has thrown Jacoby so many of those slow breaking balls today that Jacoby let him throw that fastball over the plate right there. Might have been thinking about something soft. He can't think about that soft pitch now. He's got to be thinking about a fastball.
The newest Tiger, Zach McAllister, the former Indian, is warming up in the Tigers bullpen.
And guys, I always found it interesting within the bullpen, and like, when did they start getting ready? Now I'm down over here watching the Minnesota Twins bullpen as well. All the guys are stretching. You look down at the Tigers, everybody's getting loose. So this is that, I guess that's the time, you know, that 5th inning, guys start getting themselves ready and prepared to maybe get into a ball game.
Well, right now Gibson has not needed much help. He has allowed 5 hits. Leadoff single here by Reyes. Missing off the plate, 1 and 2.
Yeah, Minnesota really does not know who their closer is going to be. They traded their closer away to the Oakland Athletics a couple of days ago. That would be the former Tiger and Fernando Rodney. So Paul Molitor really does not know who will close. At least he hasn't tipped his hand as to who will be the closer.
Got him, strike 3, and Jones says, I don't think so. 4 strikeouts now for Gibson. Well, be part of history when the Tigers retire the number of Hall of Famer Jack Morris prior to tomorrow's 1:10 p.m. game against the Twins. On-field ceremony begins at 12:15, so be here early. Other former Tigers will be here. Tickets are available right now at Tigers.com. Not going to want to miss it. Simo right now is hanging out right there where the number 47 will be joining those Tigers greats.
They're going to run out of room out there, Seymour.
Yeah, they are. I mean, Miggy's got to get on that board sometime, you know.
Yeah, Verlander's going to be up there.
Verlander's going to be up there. I mean, Tram's already going to be. I mean, that wall's going to be full pretty soon. But again, the Old English D, the history, guys, that is a special place to be. That is a special wall with the statues. This is beautiful out here, matter of fact.
You know, I really believe, and it's not because I'm from this town and, you know, we broadcast Tigers games, but what do you guys think? I think Comerica Park is extremely underrated. When people talk about the best ballparks in the game, this is one of them.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. This venue is special, and especially when they were going really good and this place was full every single night. It was a special place to be. Friday nights was off the chain here at Comerica Park.
Yes, they were, Rod.
It's like you want to go to a party, go to Comerica Park on Friday night.
Comerica Park.
You might see Verlander, and Mickey was doing his thing.
Of course, the skyline of downtown Detroit is the backdrop. There are so many great architectural details of this ballpark that I really love, inside and out.
You know what, really, for me, guys, that makes this park, I mean, a special park, it truly is the fans. They are diehard Tiger fans. I remember 2003, we lost 119 games. It was crazy for me to walk out of that dugout and look around, and this place was still packed. They were still here rooting us on, you know, hoping that we didn't break that record. So this is a special place to play some baseball.
Iglesias rolls one to short. They'll go to second one and turn a double play. 6-4-3. Simo, thanks for hanging out in left field. We'll see you on postgame.
All right, thanks, guys.
And Mario and Rod back here at the ballpark, and well, Francisco Liriano, Rod, was kind of in and out of trouble all night long. What did you think of his outings?
Well, that's pretty much the way that he pitches. I mean, he's one of those guys that's going to throw a lot of pitches. He throws 20 pitches per inning. And against this very young, aggressive offense, I thought he'd get ahead more with his breaking ball and put some guys away, but he had trouble doing so.
How about Mr. Gibson tonight? He's looked pretty good. He's had a few trouble spots, but for the most part, throwing strikes.
This is the best I've seen him look. I mean, perfectly. I mean, for me, 94, 95 with his fastball. He's got a nice little slow breaking ball that he's using. He's already 6 feet 6 inches. He's throwing straight downhill. He's using his changeup. Kyle Gibson's had a really good year this year. Just hasn't won a lot of games.
So the Tigers going to the bullpen now. It's going to be the Tigers' debut of Zach McAllister. He will take over for Liriano here in the 6th inning. And Adrianza leads it off and fouls one down the left field line.
Well, I'm sure the Minnesota Twins have seen a lot of McAllister over the years. He's been in the big leagues for a long time, and all of that big league time has been spent in one uniform. That would be the Cleveland Indians. 41 games this year, elevated ERA, 34 strikeouts. He's only walked 10. He's got a big arm. He's always been a hard thrower. 96, 97, as a matter of fact, with that last fastball. Tigers got lucky here, partner.
You know what? I was about to say the same thing. Now, McAllister, obviously, with the big arm, was a big part of the Indians' pen for so long, but they added so many new pieces to that bullpen this year with the return as well of Andrew Miller off the DL, that apparently he became expendable.
He was a starter when he first came up with Cleveland, but he really couldn't find that third pitch. And a lot of times, guys that are starters that really can't find that feel for that changeup, they turn into being bullpen guys, and that's why Zach is in the bullpen.
It'll dive low, and the count goes to 3-1 on Adrianza. Three to 1, the Twins have the lead. 2-run homer by Tyler Austin broke a 1-1 tie. Bouncer slowly up the middle for Iglesias. One away. Soft contact there for McAllister. He'll bring up Bobby Wilson. Another spectacular night for baseball here in the Motor City, as the month of August is in full gear now. Ball 1 to Wilson. McAllister with 8 years in Cleveland. He was a starter when he first came up, but basically used out of their bullpen the last 3 or 4 years. Swing and a miss.
He was released by Cleveland, which meant that he could sign with any team that he wanted to sign with, and he chose the Tigers. Obviously, he feels like it's a really good opportunity for him to continue his big league career pitching in the Tiger bullpen. And last time I checked, partner, guys that throw 97, 98, I mean, them guys aren't falling off trees.
No, they really aren't. Now, McAllister's ERA was elevated this year, nearly 5 in 41 games. I think sometimes, though, I mean, you run into roster situations where, you know, sometimes other teams can get a break by picking up a guy like McAllister because of circumstance.
Yep. He's amped up out there today, too, as you can imagine, pitching in his first game with his new team. That last fastball was 98 miles an hour that it got past James McCann.
Two and two on Wilson.
And right away, McAllister becomes one of the hardest throwing members on the Tigers staff, along with Michael Fulmer. Fulmer can get up to 97 with his fastball, and Joe Jimenez also can touch 97, but those are the only 3. That one right off the face of the home plate umpire, Bruce Dreckman.
That one buckled him a bit.
And Bobby Wilson, the catcher, is giving Bruce Dreckman a little extra time. You can see how far he's standing out of the batter's box. These catchers take care of one another. In this case, you have two catchers, in Wilson and McCann, taking care of the umpire, Dreckman.
Swing and a miss, and Wilson retired, 2 gone. Well, Grizzlies, listen up. Fox Sports Detroit University days are back. Head to the ballpark August 14th when the Tigers take on the White Sox and show your school spirit. Special packages including a game ticket, Tigers cap in black and gold, and a donation back to the Alumni Association Scholarship Fund. Tigers.com/OU for more information. 2 away now. Here is Joe Mauer. Strike 1 on Mauer, who is 1 for 3, singled in his last at bat. Indians went to the World Series in 2016. McAllister made 53 appearances out of the Tribe pen that year. And he followed it up with a better year last year, an ERA of 2.61 out of the Cleveland bullpen. Here's the 0-2. Ooh, right back up the middle. Nico will back him up, bobble, and have no play. Mauer is safe.
That might be another error on Nico Goodrum. He got there, he backhanded it, but he just couldn't get the ball out of the glove. Therefore, Joe Mauer safe.
Well, they ruled it a base hit. Mauer went out of the strike zone to get that ball. Tomahawked it. 2-out single now, and that'll bring up Eddie Rosario.
Must have had the same scorekeeper last night. Yep.
You seem bitter about that. Ball 1 to Rosario. Liriano started the game, went 5 for the Tigers tonight, gave up a 2-run homer. Two and 0. Big rep there by Rosario. He came into this ball game batting .310 against right-handed pitching. Slap foul down the left field line. 2-2 on the talented Rosario, who had the type of first half that normally will get you some all-star looks.
He should have made the all-star team this year. He and Nicholas Castellanos should have been all-stars, but both guys did not make the team. Yeah, but Nicholas also had some really good numbers at the all-star break, as did Rosario.
Jose Barrios ended up going for the Twins. There's a high fly to right field and hit well. Castellanos on the move. He looks up and it's 1 hop off the wall. Here comes Mauer rounding third. He'll score. Rosario headed to third. He puts on the brakes. Now he's in a rundown and he's tagged out. It'll be a double and an RBI for Rosario, scoring Mauer. And the inning is over. A 2-out run for the Twins. They now lead 4-1.
fundamentals defensively yesterday, and it pays dividends here. Off the ball, off Rosario's bat. Nicholas Castellanos, he gets back to the wall. He knows the ball's going to be off the wall, but look how he plays it. He plays it perfectly off the wall. Takes very little time getting the ball to Nico, but take a look at Nico here. Nico grabs the ball and gets the ball to third base in a hurry, and then they're able to record the out. But a nice job there by Nico with the court awareness, getting Rosario at third base. Nice play.
And you bring up a really good point on Castellanos, because one of the things they told us earlier this year is Nick felt that he could catch anything and everything and would get himself in a bad position on balls off the wall.
Yep, too close to the wall, and so many balls were bouncing back past him, but he did it perfectly that time.
Nick will lead things off here in the 6th, down 4-1 now. On a line to right field. And caught there by Rosario.
Here's one more look at that play. And it's worth taking one more look at it, because, I mean, this is how you get Rosario out. Rosario's got good speed, but right here when the ball gets in Nico Goodrum's hands, he knows because of the communication with the other players that he's going to try to get that ball, get to third base, and they just ran that play nicely.
How many times do you hear the saying, hit the cutoff man? And a perfect throw by Nick to Goodrum, who whirled and fired, and they get the out. If you're keeping score at home, by the way, that out goes 9-4-6-5.
It's another assist for Tigers outfielders, man. They've been racking up a lot of them. Jacoby Jones almost had another one today. It's getting to the point where teams don't run on the Tigers outfielders as much.
0-2 on Jamer. More activity. It's going to be Alcantara warming up. Now Gibson with the 0-2. Slow roller back to the mound. Jamer is out, 2 away. What do you say we get a Ram pick the stick update?
Slim Pickens today.
Mickey's got a -2.
Yeah, Slim Pickens today.
Bunch of zeros. Rod's got 1.
Yeah, got 1.
Final results coming up on Tigers Live postgame. Here is V-Mart. Victor is 0 for 2, couple of ground balls. Oh, he's going to send a grounder to left. If he hurries, he can get a double. Come on, Victor. Come on. Oh, he thought about it. Can you imagine that? Now, did he try and do that?
No, he did not. Victor will tell you he didn't try to do it either. It's a little excuse me swing. Good fastball inside by Gibson, and he just fights it off. Victor just fights the ball off. And the way that they're playing Victor, he gets himself a base hit. They stole one, a hit from him earlier today. He hit the ball to right field, and the second baseman was standing there. If you're Nico, you have to try to make Gibson get the ball up in the strike zone. Make him get it up.
Ground ball left side. He gobbled up Sano. He's going to run to the bag for the force. That'll end the inning. So they go the other way twice. Now we'll go to the 7th.
You missed Tigers Line pregame show. We were talking about relationships within the game of baseball. In particular, the relationship between Jack Morris and his manager for the majority of his seasons in a Tigers uniform, that being Sparky Anderson. Now, as we know, Sparky was kind of a my way or the highway kind of guy, and Jack Morris could be termed maybe a bulldog guy who kind of liked to do it on his own terms as well. Dan Petrie, of course, a teammate of Jack Morris, characterized it as these guys knew that they needed each other to win. And there were times when you would hear some loud banter back and forth coming from the manager's office, that being Sparky and Jack Morris. But again, two intense competitors, two guys who love the game of baseball, and I think they figured out a way to work well with one another. And of course, that culminated in a world championship in 1984. And of course, you saw a little bit of that, did you not, Rod Allen?
Absolutely. But it was Sparky's way or the highway, though. He commanded respect, and even Jack Morris knew that he couldn't buck the system, not when Sparky was there.
Victor Alcantara on the wall side windows change as Forsythe leads off the 7th. You know, Johnny mentioned Dan Petrie. Everybody talks about the great players on that team in '84. Dan Petrie is kind of quietly, I don't want to say forgotten, but not mentioned all that much. Dan won 18 games that year.
He was a nice number 2. That much I do know. He pitched obviously behind Jack as the number 2 on that staff. The Peaches was outstanding. He had a good fastball and he had a really good slider. He had a great slider.
3.24 ERA as well.
Peaches, that's what Sparky called him.
Alcantara replacing McAllister. We're in the 7th. Here's the 1-1. Chop to third. Candelario handles another one. He has been busy tonight. One away in the 7th. Tigers, by the way, taking on the Cubs in a 2-game interleague series Tuesday and Wednesday, August 21st, 22nd at 7:10 p.m. Great tickets are on sale now and available. 866-66-TIGER or tigers.com against Joe Madden and the Cubs.
Javier Baez coming to town. If you want to see a really good young player, come out and watch that Cubs series and watch Javier Baez, who might be the MVP in the National League. We don't see him that often, but man, he might be right up there. He's leading the league in RBIs. Steals bases, steals home.
Javier Baez got 88 RBIs right now.
Yeah.
And I can't figure it out.
Yeah, some of them swings he takes.
And some of them swings he takes looks like he should be going back down to AAA.
Man, oh man, but he is an exciting player.
25 homers. Hitting nearly 300. He's a good player.
Got that binky.
The binky.
Got a chain to the can't lose it, man. They got a chain to the clothes.
Here's the 1-1 to Sano. Rip foul. See, now you grew up in California, so you could not relate to having your mother attach your mittens to your snowsuit growing up.
No,
man.
no.
When you're a kid, you had everything attached, chained, velcroed. Unless you had your surfboard velcroed to you. You were growing up. Here's the 1-2 to Sano. He went. Or not. So says Chad Fairchild at first, had it held up. Say hi.
Well, Grandpa.
Two and 2 on Sano. Three and 2. What do you got on Alcantara? I think he's got a really good arm, right?
He does have a live arm. He's got probably some stuff in his delivery that needs to be cleaned up. I think he's got some herky-jerkiness that causes him sometimes to not to be able to throw that ball over the plate as efficient as he would like. But I think once he cleans that up, I think he's going to be just fine.
Down the left field line, fair ball, going to go to the warning track. Reyes cuts it off And he will hold him to a single.
Here's our Comerica Bank game summary. The Tigers got on the board first here against the Twins tonight. They got on the board in the second. It was a triple by Adduci. Field left his feet, couldn't make the play. First triple of the year by Adduci. And then James McCann beats the shift by going the other way. And then a runner on third base, one right through the wickets there, hit the umpire. They score a run there, and then a big home run by Tyler Austin. A 2-run shot in the fifth, his first game in his new squad's uniform.
Austin is up there, and he looks at the ball low and away.
Sano is starting to heat up. We talked about his numbers coming into this contest, about 400 in his last 10 games, and he's got 2 more hits here today.
Austin broke in with the Yankees a couple of years ago. Hit 5 home runs in 2016 in 31 games. In fact, he and Judge both homered in their first games in the big leagues.
I remember that.
Austin at one point thought he was going to be part of the new young core with the Yankees. Big swing there, 1-2.
Gleyber Torres and that Andujar kid, they're going to finish 1 and 2 in the Rookie of the Year voting, and that kid Andujar is probably going to get it.
Well, for so many years we talked about how the Yankees were buying their good teams. They're now starting to produce good players.
Well, they're just like a lot of teams, man, trying to get their payrolls under order. It's going to be interesting this year, man, to see what kind of deals Bryce Harper and Manny Machado get, because most general managers these days, man, they're not all that fond of the 8 and the 9 and the 10-year contracts that had been given out to players in that same stature as those 2 guys I mentioned. The contracts that Miguel got and Jeter got and A-Rod got, and, you know, on and on and on. Those guys probably, had they been in that era, they would have gotten the same kind of deals, but I wonder, Mario, if those deals are done.
They may be. Again to third base. Look at Candy picking and grinning. That is his 6th assist in this game. 2 gone.
I wonder if Candy didn't think he had to play at second there. Yeah, take a look at Candelario. He's been picking and grinning over there, but we talked about the fact that he worked hard at it yesterday. If that one gets away from him, he doesn't quit. And he seemed like he was up for the task. Every single ball to his left, sliding, getting up, throwing accurately across the diamond.
You know, now that I think about it, I think you might be right. He might have had to play at second base.
Yeah, here's that last play. I mean, he didn't even look at second base. I mean, he went over to first base.
It'll put a man in scoring position now for Polanco. Ball 1. Hitless tonight as Polanco is 0 for 3. 2 flyouts and a groundout. Two and 0.
And you got to pitch cautiously here to Polanco. You've got a base open. You've got a right-hander in the on-deck circle who's batting about 210. Polanco's hitting 280, and he's in a 2-0 count. You're not going to throw a fastball by him, not for a strike. Good pitch. He's got some nice little movement on that 93, 94 mile per hour 2-seamer. Real quiet guy, too. He just sits in his locker, man. Don't say nothing down there.
Nope. He just kind of fits in the best he can.
Just smiles and waves.
McCarty was saying the other day, guys like Alcantara, they just need to go out and pitch. And once they get the innings under their belt, he really feels that Alcantara here is one of those guys that can turn into a nice bullpen piece late in games. But they got to go out and get pitch and get experience. And he's certainly going to get that opportunity down the stretch here, it appears. Jake Cave has moved to the on-deck circle if it gets that deep. 3-2.
And put Jake Cave in that on-deck circle just to make sure that Polanco gets a good pitch to hit. So tactic that a lot of managers use. We'll put the left-hander up there, force you into getting a strike.
And he walked him. It'll be a 2-out walk for Polanco, and Cave will pinch hit. Cave for Johnny Field. Tigers again make another call to the bullpen. Cave started in center field in the ball game last night.
He made a great play last night too. He took a triple away from Nico Goodrum. Nico Goodrum's first at bat. I mean, it was a special play.
He also had a single and a double. Strike one.
So he had a nice night last night.
Real nice night. Lewis Coleman warming up. Four to one, Twins have the lead. That'll get to the backstop, advance the runners. Now they've got two in scoring position.
Here's that catch we were talking about last night that Cave made off the bat of Nico Goodrum. Nico killed a ball off the bat of Irvin Santana. And look at the route that Jake Cave took. 27.2 feet per second as far as the foot speed is concerned. He covered 114 feet. Really nice catch by Cave.
And you were holding a grudge because Nico was your guy last night.
I sure was, man. I wasn't liking Cave last night.
Got a meeting on the mound now for the Tigers.
It's the second time that Rick Anderson has gone out there. Made a mound visit here today. Went out to visit Liriano in the first, I believe it was.
A wild pitch was charged to Alcantara.
I'd like to see Alcantara throw a breaking ball here. I know the count's calling for a fastball, 2-1 count, but I believe Cave is sitting all over that fastball. And a lot of times after the visit by the pitching coach, that next pitch is a fastball. I'd like to see him put a wrinkle in something.
High towering fly ball to right field. Castellanos camping under it, and that'll end the inning.
Threw him a heater at 94.
They threaten but do not score. And coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It'll be Jim Adducey to lead things off. 7, 8, 9 coming up for the Tigers, facing Kyle Gibson, who right now is at 94 pitches.
Tigers have 6 hits tonight, and Deuce has gotten 2 of those, a triple and a single, and has scored the only run of the night for the Tigers.
And he'll look at a strike, a high strike.
As well as Kyle Gibson is pitching here tonight, I'd be shocked if he finishes the season in a Minnesota Twins uniform. There's a contender out there that can use this stuff.
Now the 0-1 pitch. Doesn't really have the name recognition of a lot of guys, but neither did Mike Fiers either.
Nope.
And he went to Oakland, threw a nice ball game in his first one. A lot of times teams will look for some depth.
Mike win?
I believe he got the win.
Good for him.
Yeah, he I believe struck out 6, gave up 1 run, 5 1/3.
Same thing he was doing for us.
Popped up. Shallow left. It's going to be Rosario coming in. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Bell Tire. For tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And in Chevy Truck Month, bring on the new and hand down the old. Chevrolet, find new roads. One gone here in the 7th. Here is McCann. Max singled in a run in the 2nd. Showing bunt. Now he offered the bunt at least. Tigers have had several times tonight where they showed bunt, pulled it back, and took a strike.
I guess that's part of their game plan today. When you look down at third base, and this is no disrespect to Sano, but he weighs about probably 270 pounds. So I would think that the guys that can run on the Tigers team would just try to bunt the ball down there in his direction a couple of times to see if he can field it. I don't think it's any different than what people do to CC Sabathia sometimes when he's on the mound. They try to exploit the weakness of him being, you know, larger out there, and they bunt on him.
Now, would he qualify as big boned?
Absolutely. CC would qualify as big bowman, as would Sano. I remember when the Tigers were going to see Houston Astros, Ron Gardenhire said that's one of the things they used to do to Verlander all the time. When Minnesota would go up against Verlander, he said he would tell all the table setter guys to just bunt and just to get him upset, to get him out of his game.
JV would get so chapped.
Didn't he know?
Would people bunt it against him? Swing the bat.
Yeah. So Ron Gardenhire, he used that to his advantage against Verlander.
Mack responsible for the only Tigers run tonight, a single through the hole to the right side of the infield in the 2nd. Here's the 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He said he fouled it off. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Gibson had 100 pitches. I'm wondering how far they let him go on a nightly basis.
101 right now.
I know it's not much. Ooh, he went 120 a couple starts ago.
Yes.
118.
There's your answer.
Yeah.
2-2.
He has had several games this year where he's gone over the century mark. Just about every time he's gone out there in the month of July and August, he's thrown over 100 pitches.
It's gone full now. 3-2 on McCann. Reyes on deck. McCann's RBI in the 2nd was his first since July the 23rd. Fouled back out of play. Tigers with 1 more tomorrow against the Twins, and then you got Chicago coming to town. Don't forget the number ceremony tomorrow. The retired number of Jack Morris, 47 tomorrow. Ceremonies begin at 12:15, so be here early in your seat to see all the festivities. Right back up the middle and through out of the reach at Forsythe. Looked like he got there, but it got by him. Let's check in with Johnny Kane.
All right, James McCann now standing side by side with the featured guest at this year's Fiesta Tigres luncheon. I had the honor of emceeing the event this year. And Ramon Santiago, you guys know this. 2 stints as a Detroit Tiger, spent 10 years in a Tiger uniform, one of the nicest human beings on the planet. And of course, he was so young when he came up in 2002, 2003. And Al Avila actually got the call from Dave Dombrowski, and Dave said, hey, I need somebody who can play shortstop and second base if you can find him. And Al said, I think I got your guy. Of course, he came up, played those 2 seasons, then came back in 2006 when they had that magical run as well. But Santiago, Dominican-born, great human. Now he's coaching his first year. No coaching experience, but he's doing a heck of a job here under Ron Gardner.
Sure is.
Hey, Rob, what do you think the biggest learning experience for Santiago is this year in the coaching ranks?
Well, getting to the ballpark early enough, because coaches get here early. I mean, as a player, you can come in like 3 o'clock, but you know, when you start coaching, man, you got to be here at noon. You got to get that computer out. He has to figure out what Kyle Gibson's move was. I mean, before the game today, this is his day. First of all, you come out here and you get ground balls to all your guys. That's your early work. And then you go inside and you start watching some of the pitchers and you try to figure out an edge for your base runners. If there's something that Kyle Gibson's doing that will give your guys an edge. And you have that stopwatch obviously in your hand that you keep track of everything that's going on as far as the speeds of the game, the guys running down the line. It's quite a bit. It really is. And if you've never done it before at any level, it's eye-opening for you. It really is just how much work goes into being a coach.
Well, the Tigers now have 1 on 1 out here in the 7th. Trevor May starting to warm up in the Minnesota bullpen. That ball in the air to center field hit pretty good. Cave is on the run. He'll get there.
And we know Cave can play out there.
2 away. That'll bring up Jones.
And Jacoby Jones has seen so many breaking balls from Kyle Gibson today. Is that his last time up, he took a fastball for strike 3. First 2 times up today, just a steady diet of those little slow breaking balls from Kyle. And an occasional fastball, but getting right back to that breaking ball. See what he does to Jacoby here, 4th time. There's that breaking ball, so he goes right back to that breaking ball again.
2 strikeouts and a ground out for Jacoby. It'll get through the catcher, advance the runner. McCann rolls into second.
And it didn't get the tailgate down. It did Bobby Wilson. This one ran right through the legs.
Wild pitch. Tigers a chance to get a run in now with a base hit. Strike called to the outer edge. 1-2 on Jones. 110 pitches now for the right-hander Gibson.
Come on, Jacoby. Stay on your fastball. Stay on your fastball and adjust to the breaking ball.
Chopped left side of the infield. Sano stumbles, stays with it, throws him out. And the inning is over. No runs. Tigers get a hit, leave a man. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Pitching now, and Kyle Gibson, Rod. Well, what more can you say about him? You made the comment earlier tonight that maybe this might be the best we've seen from him, but he's been pretty dominant tonight.
Best I've seen Kyle Gibson. I mean, we saw him earlier this year, and we knew that he was getting back to that 93, 94 mile per hour fastball. But tonight, I mean, he has really pounded a lot of the Tigers hitters inside aggressively, the left-handers and the right-handers. And then he's gone to that breaking ball, too, that he's got a ton of swings and misses on.
Well, this Tigers offense, though, has been really inconsistent. It looked like they were breaking out of it last night, but tonight again they've been shut down.
Yeah, they've been slowed down again here today, and I think Kyle Gibson had a lot to do with that. Lots of first pitch strikes, and then he got to that breaking ball and exploited some of their weaknesses. And their defense has played well behind him too. So, but you got to give Kyle Gibson some credit. He's gone out there today and he's pitched another really good game. But really, he's been doing this all year long. He came in with a 3.60 ERA. Only 5 wins and 9 losses because they don't score many runs for him. As a matter of fact, the 4 they have here tonight is his average on a nightly basis.
Lewis Coleman now on a wall-side windows pitching change. Coleman will join the fray here. The Tigers have had McAllister and Alcantara coming out of their bullpen. Kepler getting his first at bat. He took over defensively last half inning. Kepler, Wilson, and Mauer. Kyle Gibson at 111 pitches right now.
He's gone 120 this year.
Now Coleman with the 1-1. 2-1. Pulled to first. It is a fair ball and a backhand there. Ducey runs to the bag. 1 gone.
And well, just like we promised you, it's time for the Miller Lite Hold True moment. And we told you that Gibson has that 93 to 95 mile per hour fastball. He's been running it in on the hands of the Tigers hitters all night. Take a look at some of these examples. I mean, whether they're left-handed or right-handed, he just got in a lot of kitchens today. And then after he sped the bats up, I mean, he started throwing that breaking ball up there, and they just couldn't hit it. He's pitched a really good game today, and I'm sure the Tigers will tell you that everything worked off that fastball today.
Wilson now with 1 out. Numbers on Gibson so far. He's walked 2, fanned 4.
9 ground ball outs thrown today for Kyle Gibson. Just 1 fly out, 4 strikeouts. So he got back to throwing a lot of ground balls tonight.
First pitch strikes on 19 of 28.
That's pretty good too.
Coleman fired that one about 55 feet, goes to the backstop.
Yeah, McCann had no shot.
Joe Mauer waiting on deck. Coleman 5 years with the Royals, a year with the Dodgers as well. Got him. Wilson is gone, 2 away. He'll bring up Mauer.
And nice breaking ball here thrown by Coleman. And more east to west because of the angle that he throws from. Not a lot of depth. You can see that ball just kind of sliding east to west in the strike zone.
Coleman did not pitch in the majors last year, spent the entire year in the minors. Mauer looks at strike 1. Of all the visiting players that have come to Comerica Park since this yard opened up, who would you say leads in RBIs in this park for a visitor?
For a visitor, RBIs for a visitor in this park, I'd probably say Tomey.
Good guess. That would be incorrect, though.
Who would it be?
My guess would have been Konerko, but it's not. It's Joe Mauer.
Joe Mauer.
116 RBIs in this ballpark.
Man.
Well, you knew it had to be a guy in the Central.
Yep.
Mauer, Hosmer, and Gordon, the top 3 for visiting players in RBIs here at Comerica.
All 3 left-handed, and all 3 reside in the American League Central. At least they had for the majority of their careers. Hosmer now in San Diego. Beautiful San Diego.
He probably hates being in San Diego.
I think he does hate it. I think he might hate it.
Can't deliver that line with a straight face.
Look at Joe. Were you trying to hit it, Joe?
And lift and separate there, but he missed.
Joe trying to hit his 4th homer of the year.
Two and 2 on Mauer. 2 outs here in the 8th. 4-1 Twins. Two singles tonight for Mauer. Part of the Twins box tonight. Twins have 9 hits.
And most of their action at the top of the lineup today. 2 for Mauer, 2 for Forsythe, 2 for Sano.
Ball 3. Eddie Rosario on deck. Twins came in having lost 3 of 4 to the Indians, lost last night to the Tigers, but leading tonight. And he walked in. Ball 4. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica, your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives to Motor City.
I'd like to see you dance like that.
Head by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. You've got no chance of ever seeing that happen.
You see the one guy out there kicking it?
Yep.
He was getting it.
Here's a ball hit to the right side, fielded by Goodrum, and that'll end the inning. So nothing comes of the 2-out walk. Here comes the bottom of the 8th, and beautiful sky over the ballpark tonight.
And Stram and I adore the guy. He made us who we are as ball players. He had a lot of impact on both of us.
He's smiling. He would shake his finger, but it would be in a good way. You know, a lot of times early on he would be waggling his finger about, you know, we know we made a mistake and we needed to learn from that. But it doesn't get any better. Old school, new school, to me, it's one way. There's a right way. And we were taught the right way from Sparky.
That kind of says it all for me right there.
Well, stay tuned to Tigers Live following the game, the post-game edition, for a special behind-the-scenes look at Alan Trammell and Jack Morris' journey to the Hall of Fame, their unforgettable weekend in Cooperstown that debuts immediately following Tigers Live post-game tonight on Fox. And you had first-hand experience with Sparky.
Sparky Anderson was a tremendous communicator. There's no question about that, Mario. I mean, he commanded respect. He took over every room that he ever walked in. The players absolutely respected him. And not only did the Tigers players respect him, but the opposing team's players and managers respected Sparky Anderson for what he had done before he even got to Detroit. I mean, this man had won championships, back-to-back championships in Cincinnati.
Yeah, and Les Moss was the manager of the Tigers, and once Sparky became available, the Tigers made a change.
Yeah. I mean, it was one of the best managerial moves the Tigers have ever made. Sparky just knew how to bring a team together. He really did. He did it with the Big Red Machine. Yes, they were very, very talented, but they had different personalities. They had guys from all over the United States, all over Latin America. And the Tigers had the same kind of team that Sparky had here.
Trevor May is on now for the Twins as Iglesias looks at a strike, even the count now 2-2. Wall side windows change.
Yeah, fifth game for May. Only a couple of holds, a 2.45 ERA. Yeah, hitting .313 against him.
It'll be Iglesias, Castellanos, Candelario, 2, 3, and 4 for the Tigers here in the 8th. Here's the Tiger box tonight. They've managed 7 hits. Foul straight back.
And Trevor May missed the entire 2017 season recovering from Tommy John surgery. He was diagnosed on March 11th, 2017. Didn't come back until early 2018, so he just started pitching again. We talk about that Tommy John surgery. Now I don't know how many guys are in the big leagues this year that are pitching that have had that surgery, but I know last year there were over 100 guys in the big leagues pitching that had had the Tommy John surgery.
Really? Chopped left side of the infield, Sano. Well, he's been busy as well tonight. 1 gone. Here's the upcoming matchup presented by Wallside Windows. Tomorrow we've got Cole Stewart, who is up from Rochester to face Matthew Boyd.
0-3 with a 3.98 is Stewart, and 30 strikeouts, 12 walks, 300 against him. Those are his AAA numbers in Rochester. And Matthew Boyd's been throwing the ball very well lately.
Cole Stewart making his major league debut tomorrow.
Got a fastball by 92 to 93. He's got a usable breaking ball. His changeup is still a work in progress. That's the scouting report that I was given on Stewart.
We trust it because you are well connected.
Minnesota is one of those teams, a lot like the Tigers, man. Mario taking a lot of look at a lot of their pitchers down in the minor leagues just to see what they have going into the 2019 season.
Nick with a shallow fly ball to left center, and it's going to be Cave. Is Rosario okay? They collided a little bit. 2 away.
What was Rosario doing?
I don't know. There are 2 outs now, and here is Candelario. Popped up. Middle of the infield. And caught. 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers in the 8th, which means we go to the 9th, 4-1.
Parkway 1-800-CALL Sam update. Pretty quiet night for the Tigers offense, but how much has Twin starter Kyle Gibson had to do with that?
He has everything to do with it, Mick, and you hate to tip your cap to Kyle Gibson, but he continues to pitch good baseball in 2018. I'll tell you exactly why and what pitch I believe made him so effective on the postgame show.
Has tonight's game been played at a deliberate pace?
Well, Mick, I'm not saying anything.
Well, you know what? It seems like it's been a deliberately played baseball game, but maybe we're just excited about tomorrow. I think that's what the case really is. Tigers will retire Jack Morris's number 47 here tomorrow afternoon. We'll set the table for all the festivities immediately following the game on a post-game edition of Tigers Live. Mario, Rod?
All right, gentlemen, thank you. The Tigers go back to the bullpen. Buck Farmer is on now for Detroit.
And they've used Buck quite a bit this year. Yeah, pitching in his 51st contest. ERA shade over 4.5. 46 strikeouts for Buck. He's walked 30. Buck has thrown the ball well lately. I mean, Buck has really rediscovered his fastball, 94 to 96. Using that breaking ball effectively. That changeup is a good pitch for Buck.
Farmer last through against the Angels on the 7th, 2 scoreless innings with 3 strikeouts. In there, a strike called. 0-2 on Logan Forsythe.
Nice little bender there thrown by Farmer at 79 miles an hour. So first pitch was 93, and then he comes back with a wrinkler at 79.
A skosh outside.
He threw it right to the glove. James did not move his glove.
Forsythe to 0, and then Austin. Two more hits tonight for Forsythe. He has now hit safely in 9 consecutive games. Here's the 1-2. 2-2 now on Forsythe. Twins have left 10 men on base tonight. They had a bunch of traffic against Liriano early in the game. Francisco left, allowing 3 runs, allowed a 2-run homer. He went 5 innings tonight. Can't hurt to have the rally caps on. Although they don't appear to be paying attention. Here's the 3-2. Little flare out to right field, and he started back, but Castellanos comes in. 1 away. MLB at Bat is your #1 Detroit Tigers app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Tigers home screen icons and features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, and more. Download MLB at Bat today. Now Sano with 1 out. On base 3 times, 2 singles and a walk. He went. Strike 1. Here is Hildenberger, the right-hander. We mentioned the Twins right now are going with closer by committee with the trading of their former closer and former Tiger, Fernando Rodney.
Looks like Hildenberger is going to get the first opportunity.
Just looking at their staff and talking with some of the Twins folks, Addison Reed rather has had the most experience in the major league level closing.
Yep. He used to close for what, White Sox, right?
Correct. But it's not been an overly good season for Reed. Hildenberger will give you a different look coming from the side.
There's a lot of those guys in the big leagues these days. Right-handers that are doing it. Used to be left-handers that drop down to that sidearm angle, but now you've got a bunch of righties in the league that are doing it. And most good teams got one in their bullpen.
Up and in on Sano, 2-2 the count.
If you decide to throw Sano that changeup, you just have to make sure you get it down. You don't want to make a mistake with that changeup. It'll go a long way.
Popped up, heading back to the seats on a play. Souvenir.
Souvenir City.
Although that one had a little elevation on it. Folks are moving out of the way. Look what I found. That one coming back our way. 2-2 on Sano. Sano was an all-star last year. Things did not go well early in the season this year. Was sent to the minor leagues. Now he's back and he's performed much better. Swing and a miss, and Farmer fans him. Sano thought that was 3 outs apparently.
Yeah, he did.
He just kind of dropped his bat and his helmet and then realized, oops, it's only 2 outs.
Just take your clothes off anywhere, huh?
Home plate's fine.
Yeah, just take your clothes. Just get undressed. Yeah. Might as well take the do-rag off, too.
Oh, wait a minute. Nobody's leaving. That is classic. That'll drop in for a strike. Tyler Austin. Now, I assume kangaroo courts still exist, right?
Yeah, they still have some.
That's going to be a fine.
Some type of game that they play. He walking up and down the bench, and his teammates are giving him the business. Look at. He said, "You get 3 in this game. One more." I wouldn't mess with Sano. I know that much.
I might say a joke under my breath, but not real loud.
Look how big he is. I wouldn't mess with him. He don't look like he in a joking mood. Teammates might want to joke, but he ain't. There you go. They finally got one out of him.
Well, there's the 3rd out. So Sano now can go to 3rd base. 1, 2, 3 go the Twins.
Mark, how cool is this? Earlier today, 7-year-old Eric Rojas, who's battling Hodgkin's lymphoma, he made it all the way from Panama with his family to be here in order to fulfill a wish of meeting Victor Martinez. Rojas was presented with a personalized jersey. He had the opportunity to play catch on the field with V-Mart, and he also got a chance to watch batting practice with the team. But we talk about the special bonds in baseball and certainly how you're always on display and you become idols to everybody who's watching. Awesome today for Eric Rojas to be able to meet one of his in Victor Martinez, guys.
Well, baseball gives those that want to take advantage of that an opportunity to make a difference in people's lives, and Victor has done that today. And he will start things off here in the bottom of the ninth. Martinez, Goodrum, and a Ducey. Tigers down 4-1. And Trevor Hildenberger is the new pitcher.
And 4.50 ERA for Hildenberger. Doesn't walk that many. He's only walked 16. He's punched out 53. He's got that little two-seam fastball, 86 to 89 miles an hour. It's a whole different ball game, though, when you're pitching the ninth. Some guys have success in the 6th and the 7th and the 8th. And then you give them the ninth, and sometimes it just doesn't work out for all of them. A lot of pressure.
Tigers have gotten to him a little bit. 4 runs in 9 innings career against Detroit for Hildenberger. And a strike called on V-Mart.
And Victor didn't like that last call there by Bruce Dregman. A little two-seam fastball at 88, tailing away from him.
Spoiled.
And Nico Goodrum waiting his turn.
Hildenberger is career high 55th appearance in this one here. He's got 18 holds this season, but he's trying to save it tonight. Low and away now, 3-2 on V-Mart.
Gerber got to get the legs loose.
Might have to.
He's ready.
That might have been ball 4 there.
I think you're right. It's a changeup or a little breaking ball, something off speed at 78 miles an hour. About everything away from Victor with the exception of that first pitch.
And he walked him. Ball 4. Leadoff man is on. Well, join us back here tomorrow afternoon. It'll be a big day here at the ballpark. Tigers retired the number of Jack Morris, number 47. All of your coverage begins with Tigers live at noon right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Mike Gerber comes on a pinch run. So here is Goodrum. Tigers trying to take advantage of the trade of Fernando Rodney to the A's. He is not closing this game out. Hildenberger trying to get it done. Fly ball right field. That ball is hit well to the track, to the wall, and gone. Nico Goodrum, a 2-run shot. And it's a 1-run ball game. 408 feet.
Big hit for Nico Goodrum.
Nico homered in the ball game last night, a 2-run shot, and now he has hit one here in the ninth tonight.
He has worn out to his former team. He started his professional career in the Minnesota Twins uniform for 7 years. And man, oh man, has he had some great games against him.
Goodrum now with 4 home runs this year against the Twins. And Ducey looks at a strike.
Hildenberger starting to feel that pressure now, trying to close out a game. They've gotten another reliever up in the bullpen just in case.
Ground ball, base hit right field. Ducey is on. 3 straight hits for the Tigers here in the ninth. Tying run is aboard, nobody out.
And here's the home run swing by Nico Goodrum against Hildenberger. Looks like it's a changeup at 79 miles an hour. That's exactly what it is. It looks identical to the home run that Nico Goodrum hit last night. He gets out in front, but he keeps the bat back and creates a real nice angle with that bat to drive the ball out of the ballpark. Look out, Nico. I see you, boy.
Garvin Alston, the pitching coach, coming out. Hildenberger walked Martinez on a 3-2 pitch and then surrendered the 2-run homer.
You know, we were talking about it, Mario. You can pitch the 6th, you can pitch the 7th, you can pitch the 8th, man. But all of a sudden, when you look behind you and there's no one behind you and you're pitching the 9th, some guys don't handle it that well. Here's the trade to Oakland, Rodney, and they received Dakota Chalmers. They say this Chalmers guy throws about 100 miles an hour, but he's never really been able to throw strikes. And so Minnesota's hoping that he finds that in their uniform. And you saw the Dozier trade. They got prospects for him, too.
Well, Rodney had 325 saves. But he is not here. Here is McCann, who is 2 out of 3. RBI. Singled in a run back in the 2nd.
And Minnesota not looking for a bunt.
Ball 1.
Nor did James square around.
Now all of a sudden Shane Green warming up.
If you're McCann, you know Hildenberger has that built-in sinker ball with that arm slot that he throws from. So if you're James, you just have to fight. You have to fight to make sure that you get something up in the strike zone, and don't try to pull it. You have to try to go the other way. If you try to pull that ball, you're going to hit it right to the shortstop.
2-0 now on McCann. No active reliever has a major league save this year for the Twins. Nobody on their staff right now. And the pressure is ratcheting up here on Hildenberger.
McCann should get a good pitch to hit here.
In there, a strike called. He got the benefit of the call there.
That was the hardest fastball that Hildenberger has thrown. He reached back to get a couple of extra miles per hour on that one. That one was 90.
Now the 2-1. 3-1 on McCann.
Might be his last batter.
He's thrown 16 pitches, 7 of them have missed.
And he hadn't recorded an out yet.
Mac thought he had a walk, now 3-2.
The rally caps are working tonight, buddy.
They sure are. A walk to Victor, a homer by Nico, single by Ducey.
Too risky here to allow Ducey to run from first base, but we'll see.
Got him, strike three. Mack is caught looking on a fastball right on the outer edge, one away.
James didn't swing at one pitch, did he?
No, he didn't. Here's Reyes. Victor 1 for 3 with a single. Ball one. Reyes had a single in the 5th inning.
If you're a Ducey on first base, I mean, you got to be anticipating that Hildenberger might just bounce one. And if he does, you got to be ready to get in the scoring position.
High fly ball, left center field. And Rosario will make the play. Reyes retired, and there are 2 gone. That'll bring up Jacoby Jones.
Does Jacoby have a walk-off in him?
I think he had one this year, didn't he?
He did.
Did he have a home run?
He did. Walk-off.
That was against the Royals back in April. Come on, Jacoby. He is 0 for 4 tonight. He has fanned a couple of times, grounded out a couple of times. Sano right now is guarding the line at third. They don't want any extra base hits. Here's a look at the defense. The entire right side of the infield opened up.
And the outfielders are playing deep as well. No doubles depth. They don't want anything hit over their heads.
Ball one to Jones. Rally Caps has got us to within 4-3.
Another close ball game. The Tigers have played a ton of one-run games this year. A boatload.
Half of their games this year have been decided by 2 runs or less.
Yeah.
Half of them.
Yeah.
Hildenberger now is up to 22 pitches. Here comes number 23. Low, ball 2.
Jacoby doing a nice job in making Hildenberger get that ball up. He's worked himself into a really nice count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's where you have to really fight to make sure that you get yourself a good pitch to hit, because you fought so hard to get this count.
Down the right field line, foul.
We talked about the no doubles depth that the defense is playing right now, hugging the lines on the corners of the infield, and you see the outfielders. I mean, you got every guy. I mean, they're way back here. Anything hit over their head will leave the ballpark. I mean, that's why you play your defenders that deep. They want 2 or 3 hits to beat them. They don't want to give up a big hit.
2-2 on Jones. 2-run homer by Goodrum has brought the Tigers to within 1. Now the 2-2 instead, back to the bag.
And Bobby Wilson has been setting up on that outside corner against all these right-handed batters, and you've got Hildenberger throwing across his body. And right-handers aren't getting a really good look at that fastball on the outside corner. At least James McCann didn't.
Swing and a miss to strike him out and end the ball game. Tigers lose this one tonight, 4-3 your final. Now we send you to the Coliseum Studios, Mickey York, with Tigers Live postgame.
All right, Mario, thank you very much. The Tigers' comeback comes up just short. Nico Goodrum will join us to discuss the rally he ignited in the ninth. Francisco Liriano worked in and out of trouble all night long. He'll explain what was going on with his evening. We'll hear from Ron Gardenhire on his team's late life tonight. Plus, we'll count down to Jack Morris's jersey retirement next on Tigers Live.